I hit go live, the fucking chat populates like. So we are live. All right, this is the sound check portion, people. This is where you tell us how we sound. I know the AC unit is going behind us, but
there's some lovely filth down here.
Old woman.
Man,
Dave. We're doing the sound check.
Yeah.
Where am I supposed to put this?
I don't know. Right there.
In my lap.
And again, yeah, give it to Dave. I am not eating it.
There you are. Still no place. It's too.
I don't know what you.
Space. Ooh, okay. All right, so hopefully it's not going to fall apart.
What the fuck?
It's a s'mores pie.
I am not eating that.
Yes, you are.
Negatory. Does that mean maybe? No.
This is the part of the show where we just eat, where Dave eats.
All right, so we got Luna Girl in the chat. We got Talia. We got Tevin.
Talia.
Talia.
Oh my God.
We just had a staff meeting about this.
What am I, an English major?
We need a. I bought a pie cutter, and it's not here yet. So we have enough. We do this enough
Oh
times.
my God. Don't let that escape. I mean, are the boys expecting some of that?
Oh yes.
All right, well, give me that sec. Give me Jason's piece now.
Oh my God. What in the hell?
I know you can't see this for our YouTube audience right now,
They kind of can.
but it's. Oh my
All right.
It's the marshmallow.
Oh.
It's got two different kinds of marshmallow.
MG. I didn't know they had what different kinds of marshmallows.
And marshmallow fluff. And then it's got the Ghirardelli chocolates with the Hershey.
Diabetes.
Yeah.
Here it is. This is diabetes right here. Oh my God. Look at it. For it will be gone here momentarily.
All right. So anyway, did we sound okay? Nobody's actually said anything.
I haven't
about how we
seen a
sound.
click. Do we have a click?
Well, it is Tuesday, so I know we're on a different schedule today, so we may not have the Bronco Fets of the world.
Oh my God. Jeez.
And of course, we can't even start now because Dave has to eat his dessert.
I can eat during 30 seconds of silence.
You're gonna eat that whole thing in 30 seconds?
No.
That's what I thought.
I'm not eating the whole thing at all.
My mic is out. How do I sound now? See, now this is what's fucked up because Tevin says my audio is good, whereas Luna Girl says my mic is out. So is Luna Girl just fucking with me, or I don't know. God, just watching Dave eat. This is something else.
Oh, it's so delicious.
And the baby on your screen is very distracting.
Perfect.
All right. Ivan hears me, apparently.
Ivan does?
Yeah, Ivan hear Jason.
So the tough part is, so you hear me, right?
Yes.
And for those are in the chat that are relatively new, what ends up happening is when one of our mics goes out, it sounds like one person is further away.
Right.
So you should hear like right up close, normal conversational tone. And when the mic goes out,
yeah,
you can still hear it, but they're just that person's more distant.
Right. If my mic cuts out, you'll hear me like, "Oh, no, I was talking about this and that happened," and you're like, "What happened to Jason?" Because you're hearing me through Dave's mic.
Yeah, it's not that muffled, but yeah, it's a subtle difference.
Right. I was doing it for effect, to really drive the point home.
You just want to work at a drive-thru or something.
I was just listening to that Dr. Demento skit a couple days ago. Fast food. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? All right. Just for the chat, I'm going to post a link.
One more bite, and we gotta get started.
In here. Hoo, hoo, hoo. All right. Just for you in the chat, there's a funny little bit that I grew up listening to.
Do your bit.
Oh.
All right.
Fucking shit off my desk. Lemon face. Ooh.
Unique New York. Who has oddly shaped feet? Something oddly shaped feet.
What?
From Anchorman. It's one of the things he
Oh,
says.
when he's doing the preamble?
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot that. I've surprisingly only seen that movie like 1.5 times.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't dislike it, but you know, it wasn't one of those movies that I'd watch over and over again. Like I know a lot of people do.
This dessert may kill me.
Yes, Tevin. If we're talking the Legacy or the Legends material, the original Thrawn trilogy, fucking spot on.
What?
He asked about, he said his local bookstore has the Legends. Well, now, for a reasonable price, I wouldn't like overpay for the shit.
Right.
But if they've got them at like a discounted price, or if they're hardcovers or something like that, like collectible looking, then yes. I mean, don't
pay full price.
Right. But you can acquire it in other ways if that's the case.
All right. When we take our pee break, I'm going to finish that.
Sounds good. All right, we ready to get rolling here?
Yeah.
All right. Do the same intro video as last week. And it's your toast.
Same intro video as last week. But it's not.
But this is still technically this is the May.
Oh, that's true.
Because you wanted to record in June instead of on Veterans Day. Sorry, Armed Forces Day?
I'm just going to go ahead and click it now.
Gonna be me.
To our brothers and sisters at arms that gave their last full measure of devotion. Cheers.
Cheers. That was terrible.
Yeah, I think this is like plastic
and this is porcelain.
Yeah.
So not a good pair of glasses to toast with.
And that was for Memorial Day, by the way.
Yes.
Memorial Day was yesterday.
This is the annual bit where Dave explains to us the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day and all those other.
We do have to do this every year because you fucking piss me off about it.
I might do it on purpose. I might. Just a little bit.
So it's Memorial Day, or it was yesterday. So,
not Veterans Day?
Not Veterans Day. Shit. There was no free meals for us as veterans. And
well, why the fuck not?
So the thing I'm going to ignore him now. So the thing I always want to not necessarily harp upon, but just to mention is that Memorial Day is for those who fell in combat, you know, that gave that last full measure of devotion. Whereas Veterans Day is for people that served. And then Armed Forces Day is for people that are currently serving. Excuse me. Hence, Veterans Day is really the only one where you get free meals and shit. Armed Forces Day, nobody knows anything about.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, we don't get an off Monday for it. So
right, exactly.
Who the fuck cares, really?
Because we're in. So
I don't even care. Give me a day off, and then I'll fucking care. If I don't get a day off of work, then who gives a shit?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So thanks a lot, Biden. Anyway, that being said, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, astronomy, or really whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here each and every single week, the Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave. How are you?
I am full.
Yes.
I am full. Your lovely wife made quite a spread,
A feast
of goodness, and I'm may pass out from just diabetes probably.
All right, well,
because of this.
Before you pass out, what are we talking about today?
I don't know, what are we talking about? Oh, the Bad Batch.
Yes.
So we're catching up on the Bad Batch.
Correct. Because this is the last Star Wars topic for
Right.
May, I say in quotes, because we're technically recording this on June 1st.
Right. But nobody else would have known that.
Right.
Until you mentioned it.
Right. But we're still continuing on with this is the May for one last week before we shift gears and go to some non-Star Wars topics for the month of June.
And we're also going to talk about that short that came out for May the 4th. They had a little Simpsons short. So we're going to spend I think it was 3 minutes. So we'll probably spend about an hour talking about that.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what we do?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Well, because again, my whole rationale was, it's 2 episodes of the Bad Batch. Not a whole lot happened. Can we really fill a whole show? We're going to fill a whole show.
I hate when he says that. It's like, I don't know if we'll be able to fill a whole show. We have 201 episodes of this the David Jason show to prove that regardless of how minuscule the information is that we're talking about, we can talk for 2.5 hours about it.
Easily. Very easily.
Hence it being called the Sidebar Cantina.
Indeed. So that being said, we do a segment on our show every week called This or That, where our social media director, Lunar Girl, puts up a poll on our Instagram. And what is our Instagram, Dave?
At the Sidebar Cantina.
Yes. She gives you 2 options. You pick one, and we go over the results here on the show. So you
feel like I just passed some sort of quiz. I'm like, I knew that. I knew that answer. Hooray!
Well, that's good. I'm proud of you. You do.
Woo!
Gold star for Dave. So anyway, this is another Star Wars themed poll.
Right.
So we're going to talk about the results.
That's what she said.
Sure.
You said poll. Anyway, I'm literally drunk off of food right now.
Right. All right. So the first question was, would you rather see Star Wars on the big screen or in the comfort of your own home? I was surprised by the results. I just assumed in theaters would blow fucking Disney Plus away, but it was a closer than I expected. Still, theater won 77% to 23%.
Right.
But I kind of assumed if we're talking Star Wars, especially seeing a new Star Wars movie for the first time, you got to see it in theaters.
Well, is there something to be said for the fact that we didn't have Star Wars movies for so long in the theater, where the only chance you got to see it was on DVD or, for this younger generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't catch Phantom Menace and, the prequel trilogy in theater in the early 90s and 2000s into the early 2000s.
Yeah, my kids fall into that because my son Robert, he was an infant basically when the prequels came out, so he never got to watch those. So his first Star Wars in theater experience was with Force Awakens.
Yeah, and there could be a lot of people that, let's face it, there's a lot of people that shit on the sequel trilogy, as much as our generation shit on the prequel trilogy for a while. So I think that's what that small percentage comes in.
Okay.
Plus, you can binge all of them at once if you're sitting at home. But
yeah,
John Williams. This is the deciding factor. Unless you have some fucking amazing stereo system at home, which is like basically, drumming your fucking chest open from just being so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
The way to see Star Wars and get John Williams is in a theater.
Right.
That's what it's made for.
But as far as we know, we've heard the last John Williams Star Wars score.
As far as we know.
In our lives. So anyway, I guess that also there's a lot of introverts out there. And I'm sure some people would much rather just skip the theater experience and watch it at home on Disney Plus. That ain't me, though. I'd rather see it for the first time on the big screen, but whatever.
Yep, same.
Moving on to books. Would you prefer to read books or listen to the audiobook? And this one's a lot closer. Real books only got 56% to audiobooks 44%. I picked audiobooks because it's been well documented on our podcast that I love the way they do Star Wars audiobooks.
Right.
So I'm all about it. The production quality is there. They're very entertaining, especially for people like us who have a fucking 45-minute one-way drive to work.
Right.
Yeah, that's the way to go for me.
And if you've listened to the podcast for half a minute, you know that I'm more of a printed page kind of person for these things. I have imbibed in some Star Wars via the audiobook, and it's been very hit or miss because I think it's really more based on the content than it is the production value is definitely there. Like if you're going to listen to a Star Wars book, it's going to sound really good.
Yeah. If
they overproduce a character or something like that, it's because the character sucks, not necessarily the audiobook itself. But
sure.
Yeah, it's hidden by the poster, but the Sacred Jedi
Sacred Jedi texts
are I'd rather have my hands on it. Speaking of, it's not really a sidebar, I guess, but the Throne book, the latest Throne book.
Oh, the second in the Ascension trilogy.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time with it.
See, I had that with the first one.
Yeah.
The first one I couldn't get into.
It's very odd because I feel like it should be better, and it's not engaging me like the first one did.
Yeah.
So I'm a little disappointed in it. I'm going to finish it, but usually like the first book I picked up, and then when I put it down, it was done.
Wow.
Over a 6 to 8 hour span. Like this book, I've started it and put it down and, went a week and started it again and bought another book and read that one or listened to that one. And it's tough. It's tough.
Do you almost feel like Timothy Zahn's just kind of phoning it in? And also he's not really given much to work with this time around.
I think there's probably spam risk. Should we answer it? No. I think if it was just Timothy Zahn, like the original Thrawn trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it was just him writing on a character that has no basis of anything that we know, I think it'd be different. But because there's all this interaction with the canon, that I think it's handcuffed him a little bit. I think it's handcuffed his creativity because there's boundaries now because it's canonical. There's boundaries that you have to stay within that I think that kind of force some things a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's still, I mean, I'll get through the second book at some point.
All right. Fair enough. So moving on, talking about Legends versus Canon. Great segue. Which do you prefer? Legends or Canon? I honestly, this was a close one and I don't even remember what I picked. I think I picked Canon, but right now it's a toss-up for the reasons that we talked about when we did the last All Things Star Wars episode. I'm still in a phase where I'm not going to touch comics or books in Star Wars canon. I'm basically dedicated to what they give us on Disney Plus right now until they give me a reason to fucking not watch that shit anymore. But yeah, I'm kind of done with comics and novels as far as Star Wars canon goes. But I'd still pick up a Legends book. In fact, I want to. I still want to get through, or at least read the first Republic Commando book.
Yeah.
If nothing else, for our longtime listener, Bronco Fett.
Yeah, I mean, we could start it and talk about doing it for, I don't know, another year if we really want to.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. There's really no time limit on it. It's been out for fucking ever.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and then we can string Bronco Fett along for a little bit longer too.
Indeed. Do you remember what you picked for this one?
I picked Canon.
Okay.
Because without the Canon, Legends wouldn't exist. It comes down to, it's a kind of a weighted average for me, whereas the original trilogy, and if you boil it down to the story of the Skywalker saga, the way it's presented, like forget things like Last Jedi, forget the awkwardness of Episode 1, and just trace that story. I think I'm still. I'm an OG guy. I want the original trilogy, and quite frankly, it was hard for me as well. I love the Legends material. I love the way the story went, but I love the way the story went because of what they did with Luke and those ancestors, and I really like what they did there, but not enough to push me to the other side.
All right, and if I didn't say before, Canon won 57% to 43%. Next one, your dream vacation. So the Disney Hotel that we talked about last week, or Skywalker Ranch.
The ranch.
See, I did the Disney Hotel because do they actually let civilians into the Skywalker Ranch, like
Well,
for tours or anything?
I took it as if you're going to be, if they're saying, hey, you can vacation here, then you're going to have access to things that you like the regular peasants wouldn't have access to.
Right.
So I want to get into Skywalker Ranch and I want to hold a TIE fighter, like an actual, like this was on, on screen in fucking A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
I want to touch it. I want to hold it in my hand. There's so much fucking Star Wars artifacts in Skywalker Ranch that I just nerdgasm.
That's true, but I mean, I also really want to experience the Disney Star Wars hotel experience because that sounds pretty awesome.
If you offered me either or, like this presented, and I could only do one or the other, like ever, forever, I'd still do Skywalker Ranch.
No, I understand, but I'm also a realist. I don't fantasize about things that I know are unattainable, except when it's like fantasizing about winning the lottery. But otherwise, I try to.
I think I could go on your Instagram feed and debate that.
My Instagram feed. Whatever.
Anyway.
So, but yeah, Skywalker Ranch won 68% to 32%. Last question. What will always be your Star Wars? We were just talking about this. The prequels or the original trilogy? And we've talked about this at length before, but there is a generation out there that the prequels are their Star Wars movies. And it's so weird to think about as OG people. But yeah, there are people out there that really love the prequels the way we love the original trilogy. Yeah. And we've grown an appreciation for the prequels over time. And
definitely.
I'm certainly not going to shit all over them, but it's just weird to think about a generation like looking at those higher than the original movies.
No. And like I said, if you boil it down to just the story, I think the prequels do an amazing job of getting us ready for the original trilogy.
Yeah.
In and of itself. But I mean, let's face it. I know the Escape Pod guys did something with this recently because they did this.
They did all three.
They broke it down. But if I remember correctly, I think it was Brady that said that like without the original trilogy, none of it exists. This podcast doesn't exist.
Yeah.
If the success of Star Wars is completely impingent on that original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Indeed. So that is this or that. Again, follow us at the Sidebar Cantina on Instagram. That's where we have our biggest social media presence outside of the private Facebook group, the Sidebar Cantina.
Yes.
So
you can apply and join.
Yes, if we like you, if we like your face, and you answer our questions.
Probably more the questions bit than the face bit, but
yeah.
Do you actually look? Like, are you looking at their profile?
Yeah. No, that's the big litmus test is to check to see how long they've been on Facebook. Mm-hmm. If it's like has been on Facebook for 1 month, I don't think so. But if they've been on Facebook since 2009, 2012, okay, they're probably a legit person.
True, but what if it's a younger person, right, who only really watches YouTube, maybe on Instagram, but Instagram's starting to get for old people, like mainly on Snapchat or whatever else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you know what? I want to become part of this thing. I'll actually create a Facebook account just so I could be on the show. And we're denying them that.
Well, you know what? That's what you fucking get for being young. Fuck you. If you're under 30, fuck you. That's my opinion. So that being said, are we ready to move on to our week?
Yes.
Because I got some other fuck yous I got to throw out. The first fuck you I have is fuck China and fuck John Cena. Did you see that story this week?
No.
Oh my God. So John Cena, the former pro wrestler who I always fucking hated him. I've been a wrestling guy sometimes over the years. When John Cena came onto the scene, I had already stopped watching, but I still kept up with it. Fucking hated him. Like I hated his gimmick. I hated everything about him. And now he's trying to be like The Rock, where he's trying to break into Hollywood. And to be fair, like he's had a couple pretty funny roles. Mm-hmm. He was in a movie with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler called Sisters, I think it was, where he played like a fucking drug dealer. Yeah. He was actually really good in that. I don't know if it was just because he was playing off of Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, who were both really funny, or what. But like, I really enjoyed his character in that. So he's in like the most recent Fast and Furious movie, Fast and Furious fucking 53 or whatever it is. And he's promoting it and he's doing a fucking interview and he's talking in Mandarin. He took the time to fucking learn Mandarin. And he was talking to, I think it was a Taiwanese news station. And he briefly mentioned, yeah, you know, I'm so happy to be here promoting this in the country of Taiwan. Oh my God. God forbid he refers to Taiwan as an independent fucking nation, whereas fucking China still claims that Taiwan is theirs.
Right.
And I don't want this to turn into a political thing, but there are certain people on the political spectrum who fucking side with China, who fucking support China. We're like, oh, China's great. If you're out there, if you're an American and you think China is fucking all that, then you're a fucking idiot. Okay. And you clearly aren't paying attention to anything.
Yeah.
So anyway, this whole hullabaloo gets like kicked up because John Cena referred to Taiwan as fucking an independent nation or whatever. So he got all this fucking pressure, probably from his superiors at the fucking studio that made Fast and Furious 133 or whatever it is. And, you know, he had to apologize. So he went on to some fucking Chinese thing and he's like, I deeply apologize. Taiwan is part of China and I am so sorry to the Chinese people.
Wow.
Yeah. Like he came out and he fucking kowtowed to the Chinese because the reality is China is a huge market for Hollywood.
Yeah.
So
it's a huge market for everything.
Sure. Right. So it's all about the cash. And now because China has this fucking grip on the nuts of fucking anybody who wants to make money, like large corporation wise, like they have to fucking kowtow and they have to, you know, force their people to apologize for calling Taiwan an independent nation.
I didn't know that any of that happened. I don't have any opinion on John Cena anyway. Aside from that, holy fuck, dude. Like, really? Like this, like that's the stand you're going to take. Of course, you're going to it's again, we don't want to turn this into a podcast about geopolitical situations with China.
Mm-hmm. But fuck China anyway.
It is a communist country that is doing its very, very best to assert their dominance over the rest of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care how you feel about, colonialism and all this other bullshit that people get themselves riled up about. The fact of the matter is, as veterans, right, this is a near peer enemy for us. And you have to understand that what that means is if we're going to get into a fucking street fight with these guys, it's going to be bloody.
Oh,
it's going to be ugly. And they've postured themselves to see Bronco Feds thing.
Yeah.
They're all over the world and they're leveraging themselves in a particular way. In the United States in particular, because we are the biggest dog.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fuck China. It's if you're listening to this and you think that China is cool beans, then yeah, you're fucking up.
Yeah, you're not paying attention. So anyway, enough of that.
We could do legitimately a whole entire podcast on that.
Oh yeah. Though I also don't want to get myself in trouble too much. But anyway,
I could do a whole podcast.
I went to Six Flags Great Adventure on Friday.
Yeah. Fuck Six Flags.
So I was of that opinion for the longest time.
Okay.
Because
I thought we were still going with the fuck.
No. We're kind of shifting gears a little bit. So we have a Six Flags here in New Jersey.
Yes.
Probably 45 minute drive from my house. Probably about the same from yours. Maybe even a little bit shorter because you're like right on the fucking turnpike.
Yeah, if you take the turnpike, you can be at Six Flags in like an hour and 5. Okay. It's still a long way because you have to get off the turnpike. Even the distance between exit 7 and exit 7A is actually significant.
Okay, well, the way I took it, it was about 45 minutes. Anyway, so I had been a couple of times in like the mid 2000s, and I think the last time I went was probably like 2010, 2011.
Mm-hmm. Didn't you meet your wife there?
Sort of. Well, she worked there when her and I met. We actually met at the Burlington Mall, but that's a whole other side story. Anyway, the last couple of times that I had gone in the mid 2000s and 2010, 2011 timeframe, it was getting kind of shitty. Like it was getting bad to the point where, mostly it was the crowd.
Right.
You attract a different kind of crowd than you attract at like Disney, mostly because of cheaper ticket prices and things like that.
And proximity.
Yeah. And you get a lot of these shithead teenagers that are like constantly cutting lines, and it was a big mess the last couple of times I went. So I was been real hesitant over the years to kind of go back. But my son Ben, my youngest son, he's always been kind of a thrill seeker. When the last couple of times we've gone to Disneyland, he's the one that wanted to ride the fucking Tower of Terror.
Right.
Like this was 2 visits ago. This was like 5 years ago when he was like fucking 8. He wanted to go on that shit, and we went on. And he's like, "That was great," So he's always been a bit of a thrill seeker. So I'm like, well, fuck, maybe he would like Six Flags because there's some awesome fucking rides.
Yeah.
At Great Adventure here, some that are like world renowned, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. And because we work on base, we have access to the ticket office on base. They has stupidly cheap tickets.
Yeah.
And you can get a season pass for like the price of like just barely more than a normal ticket.
Right.
So I did that. I bought season passes for me and Ben. They came with parking passes, and we went on Friday because I was off that day. And even though he's still in school, we pulled him out for the day. He was sick, and assuming that there wouldn't be much of a crowd there. And we had been planning this for a couple of weeks. As it got closer, you saw that this weekend was shit weather-wise.
Yeah.
Lots of rain. But when we went on Friday, it was cloudy, it was overcast, but it never rained out there until right about the time we were leaving the park. So
Perfect.
I think that kind of kept some of the crowds away, because when we went there was like nobody there. Every single ride was a walk-on. All of the fucking employees were super nice. And it was actually a really good experience. Food was a little expensive. We ate lunch there.
Right.
And, it's theme park food prices.
Exactly.
So the vending machines, by the way, $6 for a bottle of water or a soda.
Wow.
So did not do that. But everything else was, it was a great experience. Ben found his couple of favorite rides. I made the mistake of taking him on El Toro, which is like the big wooden coaster. It's like the most intense roller coaster I've ever ridden in my life.
Really?
It's fucking awesome. But we went on that first thing, and I think it freaked him out a little bit because that was like more intense than he was ready for.
Did you guys do King Dakar?
No, we did not, because El Toro kind of freaked him out to the point where we did some lesser exciting rides after that.
Well, you have the season pass, so you have the whole season to go back and give it a
exactly.
shot.
And he's already looking forward to going back. So we're probably going to go back maybe at the end of next week on my next off Friday. So we'll see. But overall, good experience for the first time going in over 10 years. I enjoyed it.
I think you nailed it. It's the crowds.
Yeah.
Like when you're standing around, especially like most of the time you're going to these places, it's fucking hot as balls.
Yes.
Right. Everyone around you is fucking hot and sweaty, and there's little fucking kids running around that you just want to punt, and that's to me what makes that whole experience just horrific. Right.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in high school, probably, I think we started doing it my junior year. On spring break, they had like stupid cheap to get into Six Flags.
Mm-hmm.
So we would go up to Six Flags on spring break. Like one day, it was like most of the class.
Sure.
And I specifically this one year, we went up there and we rode the fucking Scream Machine, which I don't think is there.
It's not even there anymore. Yeah.
We rode the Scream Machine no less than 8 times in a row.
Nice.
In a row. Because there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing. It's like, wow, we have the entire place to ourselves. The only place where we actually had to wait is the Batman ride was brand new at that time.
Yeah.
It was like it was just open that spring.
Mm-hmm.
So that had like a bunch of people there, I think, just to ride that ride, to be honest.
Sure.
But yeah, when you have the place to yourself, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But when you insert all those fucking people, and no, not so much.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll see how much he likes it after we go back and we actually have to wait a little while in line for rides. But overall, good experience so far. So we'll see if it continues. I think I talked last week about fucking up my shoulder in the gym. Still fucked up. I skipped the gym pretty much all last week and this last weekend. This morning was the first time I went back to the gym in about a week, and I can fucking feel it already. I can feel like myself getting fatter, and I can feel like my muscles aren't where they need to be at this point in the week because I didn't work them over the last week. But
Right.
dude, my shoulder's been fucking killing me. And like I'll wake up in the morning and it's just sore and sore all fucking day. And I'm at the point now where I have to go see a doctor, I think.
And you need to go to a doctor while you're still on active duty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just for, if you have to get MRIs and referrals and all this other shit, you don't have to pay for it.
Mhm.
Take advantage of that while you still have it.
Yeah. So I haven't really like lifted weights, like any heavy weights in a little over a week now. And I fucking hate it. And if this continues much longer, I can feel a depression coming on. That's normally what happens when a fucking injury takes me out of the gym. I can feel it fucks with my mental state. So
yeah, well,
we'll see how it goes.
You have to get that. You have to find out what can I do that doesn't necessarily involve that and do something else.
And that's what I did this morning. I did the fucking Stairmaster for half an hour.
Yeah, plyometrics or something.
Yeah.
Talk to your trainer.
Yeah, I need to. Anyway, I got a lot of shit this week. So I got back onto the Xbox and played some Battlefront over the last week.
That.
I sent you some texts over the weekend. I posted some stuff in the cantina. But yeah, man, Battlefront is still fucking going, man. People are still playing the blast maps. And I've noticed that if you go on like a peak time, the weekends, I played on Saturday afternoon, I think, it was all normal people. Whereas if you play on a weeknight, those are like the league people. The guys that like all had the same fucking prefix to their names because they're all in like some fucking clan or whatever.
Right.
And they kick the shit out of me. But if you go on the weekends where it's everybody like around the same skill level, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, in there with the normies.
Yeah, basically. And it's
excuse me.
Yeah, it's been fucking great, man. And it's again the first Battlefront from 2015.
Yeah.
I think that captures the essence of Star Wars. It's with the John Williams music and the scenery and the graphics and
it's so playable.
Yeah,
it's so playable. I was super jealous when you sent me those pictures. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
I think I was still in State College when you sent me the first one, so there was no chance. And I haven't had time.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. And also part of what I was doing this weekend was, so I've got the Xbox Sex in here.
Right.
I still have my old Xbox One, my Xbox One S.
Right.
And I'm like, well, fuck, what do I do with this? So I set it up in my bedroom next to where my computer is. So I got another TV, and I have this big table where my desk is. That's always dirty, by the way. But I did clean it a little bit this weekend, and I set up the Xbox One right there. And because the Xbox is awesome, the way they do their accounts and everything, like everything is across your account.
Right.
So I have the same account logged into my Xbox X as I do my old Xbox One S, and I have the Game Pass, which the Game Pass is their monthly subscription service where you have access to this massive fucking library of shit. Battlefront is one of those games. So I have access to Battlefront on both. All of your saves go across both.
Right.
So at some point I was in here playing it on the fucking Xbox X. Sometimes I didn't want to leave my fucking bedroom and I just fired it up on the fucking TV I have in there on my Xbox One S. And it's great. I love it.
Yeah, it is nice to be able to, because I'll go out to Kate's, right? We'll go out to State College, log in, play zombies on my account, while I'm there, and they're farting around or cleaning or doing whatever, and I'm just like, I'm just going to sit here and play zombies,
right?
And it saves, and if I'm doing it on the PC, that saves, and it's
and the PC is another thing. Like I didn't even realize, but all Windows PCs now have that Xbox app on there, and if you have the Game Pass, you have access to that whole fucking library on your fucking computer too. Which I noticed Squadrons is on there.
Nice, a
game I have yet to play, but now I have access to it, and I don't have to fucking buy it.
Yeah, you should try it.
Yeah, because I've got the good joystick and fucking throttle and
the HOTAS. How you doing?
Yeah.
So I would definitely try it.
Yep. Last thing that I have, I've been talking about fucking masks and this COVID shit over the last couple of weeks.
Right.
Well, we got our fucking release sort of this week or last week. Fucking the New Jersey governor lifted the mask mandate for New Jersey on Friday, and it's been a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. I think my first experience was going into Walmart on Saturday or Sunday. And the really weird part was I was the only one not wearing a mask when I went in.
Right.
Like, everybody else was still wearing the fucking masks. I'm like, you guys know we can take these off now, right? So I still felt like everybody was looking at me like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, man, vaccinated and I've had the fucking virus. So like, what do you want? But then when I went to the gym this morning, like nobody had fucking masks on.
Yeah, that was the best. The best part of that, the stores, whatever. I don't go in the stores anyway, but being able to go to the gym and not have to fucking wear a mask was awesome.
Yeah,
that made that by itself. The gym was still a little bit too empty. You know, it still felt too empty, especially when I go.
Yeah,
but dude, yeah, not having to fucking worry about straining through the goddamn mask as I'm working out was nice. It was very nice.
And so something I noticed, it was a conversation Kristen and I were having, but you know, some people really just look better with masks on. Yeah. Because I've been going to the gym on a regular basis since last July.
Oh my God.
Right. And this whole time I've been going to the gym on this regular interval is during COVID.
Right.
So I see a lot of the regulars there. A lot of the regulars see me. And I only know them with their fucking masks on.
Right.
Now I'm seeing people without their masks on. I'm like, oh,
that's what you look like?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, put the mask back on, man. Jeez.
It's really funny.
Yeah. So I thought that was hilarious. But that's it. That was my long-winded week. I had a lot of shit to talk about.
Yeah.
So that's it for me. What about you?
Fuck China.
Yeah, fuck China.
So yeah, every week I'm stuck in this spot where like, what the fuck did I do last week? And usually ends up with like, what did I do on the weekend? Because I forget what the fuck I did last week. So this weekend we drove out to State College, see my daughter. She's in between a couple of apartments right now. Like, so helped her pack some stuff up in the other one, just whatever. So we get out there and she had like, so my daughter and her boyfriend moved in together.
Oh, okay.
Right? So they're in this nice apartment, right? And the other apartment she has until the end of June. So rather than getting a hotel room, which is what adults do, rather than getting a hotel room, we're like, oh, we have an air mattress. We'll put an air mattress in the fucking apartment and we'll stay there. Okay. People in their mid 40s are not meant to sleep on fucking air mattresses.
Correct.
We are adults. We make enough money to fucking get a goddamn hotel room. I don't care how much the rent is or how much we've paid of it. Don't give a shit.
So
never again.
So why did you sleep on an air mattress then, Dave?
Well, because Kathy talked me into it, basically. And so we were both on this fucking, it's a queen size air mattress. It's a decent enough one, but neither of us could sleep. Like it was just awful. Yeah. It was just awful. We were supposed to stay 2 nights and we ended up leaving the next day because we were so banged up, like between our backs, my fucking neck and my shoulders, it felt like I'd been hit by a goddamn truck and I didn't sleep. I couldn't fucking sleep. So yeah, fuck air mattresses. We are too old for that shit. Yes. If you're in your 20s, knock yourselves out. Fucking enjoy it. Yeah, when you're in your fucking 40s, no, absolutely not. Don't do it. Yeah, so that was that. We ended up we moved the taping schedule because we were supposed to come back yesterday and we ended up just relaxing yesterday. It was kind of nice.
It's always good to take a day and just fucking do nothing.
Yeah, well, you say that. So we ended up I'm like, you know what? I don't have Kathy had stuff on her agenda to do for the day. So I went, you know what? The shed needs to be cleaned out. It needs its spring cleaning. So I'm going to work on that. To get started on doing that, I'm fixing this chest of drawers that I'm like, okay, I'll fix this. And then Kathy finds it's like this bar on Marketplace, right? Which Facebook Marketplace can be a blessing and a curse, right? I'm sure there's people out there that are ripping people off and dealing with people when you're trying to sell something is awful.
Especially just strange people that you don't know.
Right. But this particular thing, like, so we went up to John and Jacqueline's and had dinner with them on Friday. Okay. And they have this, like, it looks like a steamer trunk, but it opens up and it's a bar inside. Like it has space for bottles and the glasses and the whole bit. We're like, oh man, we really want to get one of these. Right. So Kathy was investigating, just sniffing around over the weekend. Yesterday, one pops up on Marketplace for free.
Really?
Right? All we had to do was go pick it up. And it was first come, first serve. So Kathy's like she's messaging them. And then she runs out to me and is like, we have to go. We have to go right now. Like, okay. Leave the shed doors open, fucking tools everywhere. Fuck it. The dog will guard it. So we go, we drive like 20 minutes to this place, pick it up. Heavy as fuck, by the way. And it's not the steamer trunk style. It's more like it's wood. It's like this.
How did wood get so hard? The wood became hard over 1 million years ago.
Anyway, I can't remember that reference. God damn it. Now that's going to be in my brain.
We've talked about it like within the last couple of months.
I know. I slept on an air mattress, dude. It took years off my life.
All right, I'll give you that.
So anyway, we went and got this bar and then came back. And then by the time we got this bar and we're like, all right, well, let's try it in the family room or the living room. We're going to put it upstairs in the living room. Put it in there. We're looking at it. It's like, you know what? This room needs a carpet. Let's go get it. Let's go. So now we're at the store. We buy a fucking carpet, bring it in, set that all up, and then realize that the bar doesn't fit in the fucking. It doesn't look right in the room.
Right.
And I wanted it for downstairs anyway, so I ended up having to fucking get the fucking this heavy.
But at least
thing.
you got the rug for upstairs.
Yeah, and the living room looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my Memorial Day, and was out there till dark, putting back the shit that I fucking started taking apart in the shed. And it was just exhausting. The weekends are exhausting. They just are. It's so fucking busy. I wish it is what you make of it, right? Like,
sure.
Yeah, if I really wanted to, I could say, fuck it. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to play video games. And you know what? There's a lot of nights where that's exactly what I do. And I just didn't do that this weekend. And I'm paying for it. Completely lost my train of thought.
Luckily, you have notes where you wrote down stuff, so
yeah,
you
right.
can always refer back to the notes.
Yeah, I looked straight at it too. So I'm gonna go for my master's degree. It's something that I wanted to do anyway. Like for a while, I've been kicking it around. And come to find out that I have tuition assistance available to me that's going to make it significantly cheaper for me to get it.
Okay.
And it's not a bucket list thing. I think that term's a little bit overused, but it's definitely something that I want to be able to prove to myself that I did, and reach that level of education.
Little bit of pride.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is. I mean, I struggled to finish my bachelor's degree because of time and everything else. But once I got out of the military and the kids were older, right, you get a little bit more bandwidth to do shit like that. Now,
most people do. I don't know if Dave Martin does.
Well, so here's the thing. It's about choices, right? So I have to slow down in one thing to get to that. That's what I really want to do.
Right.
So sacrifices to whatever it is that I'm doing. And let's face it, I am somebody who suffers from anxiety and depression and some other shit too. And I stay busy. I stay busy to help with not getting into that headspace, right?
Yeah.
So if I throttle back on one thing that I'm just doing to stay busy anyway, then and do something that has long-term goals for me, then I'm going to do it. So yeah, I'm looking at a Masters of Public Administration from Villanova, actually. So that's what I'm shooting for.
Okay, because when I saw your notes, my question was why. Yeah. But I mean, you explained it with the pride thing. For me personally, like, I don't give a shit. If I can get away with never going back to college, I never finished a bachelor's, quite frankly.
Yeah,
and I don't even give a fuck. If I don't have to, then I'm not going to.
So it's pride, right? It's what I want to. I want to teach at college. I want to go to a college and teach.
Yeah.
I miss teaching. It was one of my favorite parts of being an instructor in the Air Force. I could do that now with my bachelor's degree if I really wanted to, but you're talking, primary schools and high school. I don't want to deal with fucking kids.
Right.
I'd rather go and teach like night school. You know, I'll teach aeronautics at a fucking night school or a history class or something. You know, I want to teach to a captive audience and be able to do that. And I need my master's degree to do that. So there's that. There's the pride bit. I want to teach, you know, so, and plus it'll actually, if I want to progress as a GS, like I'm going to need a master's degree. I mean, that's, if I'm content with doing what it is that I'm doing right now, which that's just not how I am.
Right.
Then that's cool. But I want to attain as far as I can in the next 19 years while I'm still being employed by the DoD. And however high that takes me, then fine. If that means that having the master's degree is going to help me get there, cool. And then I wanted to go to Villanova, you know, and I'd have the means and the ability to do that.
So, just to say you're an alumni of Villanova?
Yeah. You know, my dad went to Villanova. I've always been enamored with the school. I wasn't as drawn to it as I was for the Aeronautical University back in 1993 when I got fucking accepted at Riddle the first time. But yeah, it's going to be fucking hard. But the MPA program, it's a lot more geared towards too. If I stay in a lot of the nonprofit and, you know, local government type things. So it's all good. The stuff that I want to do, but it means I have to do my GREs. It's like, oh God, that'll be the litmus test. If I got to do my GRE and it's a shit score, I'm like, well, we're going to go ahead and, you know, occupy my time with something else like airplane porn.
Yeah. So you're going to have to elaborate on that. Cause I saw that in the notes. I'm like,
So I like to take pictures, obviously at Philly Dave 75. I like to take pictures of airplanes in particular, and I had an opportunity. It was me and Chad Vickers. We were taking pictures for our DO on his Finney flight. I think I sent you one of them. Yeah. And we were literally standing at the end of the fucking pavement of the runway, and I was like leaned back, and I got. It
was an awesome shot.
Yeah. The timing was just right, and it was fucking great. I stood outside just taking pictures for. And like 90 minutes, and it was fucking glorious.
Now, of course, when I saw that picture, the first thing I think of is Wayne's World when they're sitting on the end of the runway. All right, look up.
Yeah. There's a bicycle with the what is it? The handlebars taken out or something. We finished. I don't know. That'll come to me later. Yeah. Anyway, lastly, I think I talked last week. There's a new Andy Weir book out. The guy who wrote The Martian. Anyway. There's a new book out. It's called Hail Mary. Very, very good. Highly, highly recommended. You know, I think it's better than The Martian. And I know there's a lot of people out there that really enjoy that. It's along the same ilk as The Martian.
What's the general premise without spoiling? Boy meets girl.
No.
Boy goes to Jupiter.
It's more like kind of like how The Martian was one guy surviving. It's kind of like that, except Earth is dying.
Oh, okay.
The Hail Mary is basically this like suicide mission to be able to save Earth.
Okay.
Very, very well written. I listened to the audiobook because I had my favorite dude whose name I can't think of right now. Fuck. My brain sucks.
And this guy wants a master's degree.
Yeah, well, they give fucking degrees out to idiots all the time, man. I mean, we work with a lot of them. So
that is true.
We know. But yeah. Anyway, yes, Hail Mary, Andy Weir. Buy it.
Do it.
Make the sacrifice. I have to pee.
All right. Well, that is a perfect time then for us to take a break.
Yes.
And be right back.
Take breaks
after this word
from P
and our sponsors.
Yes, it's RC Bray. Thank you. Thank you, Supergirl. Oh my God. You have to be real bad when you can't like stand up all the way.
Oh, that's normally me. That's the funny thing is because normally it's me forcing these pee breaks where it was actually Dave this week. So, all right. Whilst Dave is gone, I'm trying some new beer today. First, I'm trying this Flying Fish Brewing Company. They have a brewery like right there. you could probably throw a rock and hit the fucking building from our roof. But yeah, Flying Fish Brewing Company. This is their Trade Winds Tropical Wheat. It's not bad. I've had that so far. The next thing I'm gonna have is Stone Brewing's IPA. So when we went to Las Vegas a few weeks ago, we ate at the Hell's Kitchen restaurant, the Gordon Ramsay Hell's Kitchen restaurant, which was a pretty cool experience. I was driving later that night, so I didn't want to drink too much, so I had one beer. And I saw on their list of beers, the Stone Brewing Company's Tropic of Thunder was the name of the beer. I'm like, I'll try that. Fuck it. I've heard of Stone before. Had it. Best fucking beer I've ever had in my life. This fucking Tropic of Thunder beer. I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking incredible. I need to find this and buy all of it. Come to find out, after doing some research and investigation, they've discontinued the Tropic of Thunder fucking beer. I'm like, you motherfuckers. But of course, that's the way my luck goes. So, but apparently Stone Brewing is a pretty big company, and I hear their IPAs are pretty good. So I'm going to try their Stone IPA today. So that's what we're having second after the pee break. And now it is my turn.
After a pee break. Oh my God. I literally ate myself into fucking being in some sort of oxygen deprivation. Bought that. Yeah. That Hail Mary was really, it was good. It was really, really good. I liked it, and I don't want to say anything else about it because I feel like I'll give stuff away. It's one of those where you kind of needs not the right word, but you want those things to kind of surprise you and how it turns out. So very, very cool. Penn State. Yeah, we are Penn State. Bronco Fett talking about more of a Penn State guy. So here's the thing. I've been a Villanova guy longer than a Penn State guy, is really what it comes down to. Like, we've talked about it on the show. Most of my family is in Pennsylvania, and most of them went to Penn State. So there was always a Penn State fan base, in my family growing up. Because what are you looking for?
One of my 2 bottle openers that I keep in here.
Oh,
actually 3.
So yeah, so the Penn State fandom has always been there. I mean, obviously for football and everything else, but Villanova has been like, when I first was like rooting for schools, like really getting into like the fandom, Villanova, like for basketball especially. I mean, I've gone to Villanova football games. I was one of those people when Villanova was looking at maybe joining the Big East after they won the Division II national title. I was like, there's rules about stadium size and everything else. It's not a very big stadium. It's not a very big campus. I mean, it's it's an old Jesuit school, but my dad went there. I love the campus. It's just always been one of those things. Plus, what I want to do, all that being said, right? That's that's my heart, right? The reality is that same degree from Penn State is almost 10 grand more expensive for the same degree. So, so that helps with that decision. And you know what? Kate's going to Penn State, and we just lost the video feed. Are we still talking?
I have internet. Oh, it's you that lost it. So, yeah, they should still be able to hear us. They should still see your camera, but my camera.
I'm plugged into your internet, dude. I'm not on
Wi-Fi. I don't know, man. I don't know.
There it goes. Maybe. How did it pull itself out? I don't know. Whatever.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Penn State is expensive, as Luna Girl knows, for having a daughter that went there. And, I'm not in state. I'm not while I get tuition assistance, I'm not getting the military rate for anything. There's a little bit of a discount, but not much, not anything compared to Villanova. And quite frankly, Villanova's MPA program is a little bit, it's better rated. You know, UPenn is probably the best one in the area, but I'm not going to UPenn. Fuck that.
Fuck that.
But yeah, well, it's all predicated on how I'm going to do my GREs, by the way. So we'll see.
I don't even know what a GRE is.
It's basically the test you have to take to get into graduate school.
Oh.
They have general ones, and then they have subject matter specific ones.
Okay. I mean, I know a lot of colleges have just like general testing like that as well.
No, this is pretty. This is like a standard test that most, like, you can get into master's programs that don't necessarily have a GRE requirement. Usually they require you to have a lot of experience in that field, because master's degrees are more geared towards, like, you're already doing what it is that you're working towards, right? This isn't a place to learn new shit. This is a place to make the shit you know work better.
Well, considering I don't know shit about shit, I would probably not do well. Anyway, we ready to roll?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Give me a countdown and we'll get right back into it.
Going back to It's Gonna Be Me.
Yeah.
Want to do that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be me.
And we're back. So, Bad Batch and Simpsons. Why don't we start with the Simpsons? Because that was a pretty short one.
Yeah.
We can kind of knock that out really quick. So this was like you said at the top of the show, May the 4th, this debuted on Disney Plus, and it is The Simpsons, The Force Awakens from its nap. It's like a 3-minute short
Right.
on Disney Plus. It was very, very cute.
No dialogue.
Yeah, no dialogue. And
It's centered around Maggie, so you know it's going to be cute.
right. So yeah, and it was basically the whole premise is Maggie gets dropped off at a Star Wars daycare,
Right.
basically. And it's like you get all these cuts really fast, some really funny like integrations of Star Wars into the Simpsons. Thing that you see right off the bat is once Maggie gets in, you see one kid kind of misbehaving. A Togruta, which we're to assume is Ahsoka, like grabs the fucking kid and dunks them in a fucking carbonite bath. Right.
That's your timeout.
Yeah.
It's getting dipped in carbonite, which
Yeah.
is fucking great.
Yeah. And then you get hung on a fucking rack like a fucking towel or something.
Is the one doing that is beyond me, but hey, whatever.
Right. They're like, well, fuck that's a species that people know. Then you've got Grievous, General Grievous, fucking changing diapers because he's got the fucking 4 arms.
Yep.
So he's got all this shit in his hands as he's changing a fucking baby's
And
diaper.
then dumping it into R2's fucking head, and R2 going, oh.
Yeah, the dirty diaper.
Yes.
Into fucking R2 like he's a trash can. And he grabs fucking Maggie. For some reason, he takes her pacifier, which that's the thing that defines Maggie and the
Right.
Simpsons is their fucking pacifier. And then enter BB-8. BB-8 rolls up and like shows her the hologram, like, ooh, I can get you the fucking I can get you the new pacifier or whatever. So now it's Maggie and BB-8's little adventure, and they go into a room filled with BB-8s. Like, I don't know what that was all about. And then of course that jumps into a baby Darth Maul, which,
well, baby Darth Maul fucking throwing the lightsaber into the back of BB-8.
yeah,
Like wow. Like it had such, like, this obviously isn't for kids anyway, right? It's
Sure,
The Simpsons. The Simpsons is not a kid's fucking cartoon.
no,
But you know, oh, here's BB-8 being cute after getting beat up by the other BB-8s, like he was on death's door.
he's
And
already fucked up.
And then fucking get the lightsaber through the back of him, and you got baby Darth Maul fucking flipping around in his diaper, and I'm just like, wow, that was darker than I was expecting.
Yeah.
It legitimately surprised me.
Yeah, and then of course we get the Duel of the Fates, John Williams score playing in the background as Maggie and the Darth Maul are having a lightsaber battle. Maggie she extends her fucking pacifier to make a sword, and they're having this lightsaber battle, and ultimately it ends with the fucking the Darth Maul pulling a bookshelf onto fucking Maggie
Right.
and killing her.
Right.
turning her into a Force ghost.
Yeah, of a Yoda.
Yeah, which again,
Some
they're
weird
just like
figure.
throw some fucking Yoda ears on her, and
That's what it was. That's what I did the screenshot of. So it wasn't from the Bad Batch. It was from the Simpsons thing because it had rules of Star Wars.
well, I have them all written down.
Yes, thank
so
you.
yeah, I wrote them all down because that was the best part because that's what it closed with, right? Maggie dies, but her Force ghost comes out, and then we get rules of Star Wars, according to the Simpsons. Number 1, beloved characters never really die.
Yes.
So hence the Force ghost. Number 2, no handrails. Which
That was great.
yeah, we've talked about that at length on the show. It's been joked about in like
right here.
yeah, like in the Robot Chicken and the Family Guy.
You said be leaning too much.
Mm-hmm. Number 3, droids do not need to be plugged in. I mean, I get sure.
Yeah.
Maybe they have like mini nuclear fucking power sources that don't have to be plugged in, like the Mars rover.
Yeah, little yeah, I can see that.
And
That
then
would explain why they're so fucking heavy.
right. And then rule number 4, every episode must have at least 2 sunsets.
Yes. And then it had Maggie standing there with I forget who.
There was like 7 ghosts in there.
Yeah,
It was like Luke, Rey, Chewbacca, fucking Obi-Wan, Yoda. So, but that was it.
Yeah.
And it was funny. It was cute. Again, 3 minutes long. You're not gonna.
Yeah, the credit sequence had some cut-ins that
Sure.
weren't in the show. They had Homer sitting in the cantina, which I love Homer. He's
Right. But this just kind of goes to show it's a great example of what Disney can do with the Star Wars license and with other licenses they have, obviously, because now they own the Simpsons.
Right.
So they can do all this coming together of their different licenses if they choose to.
Right.
It's a matter of, how far are they going to go with this,
Mhm.
I guess.
And that was probably it. It was probably like, hey, let's do something for May the 4th. Okay, cool. And then they did.
Yeah. So we'll see if they do anything more with it like that. But I thought it was worth talking about. Again, just the 3-minute short. If you haven't watched it, again, 3 minutes Disney Plus.
Yep.
It's not going to kill you.
It's probably on YouTube somewhere too.
Probably. So get into the Bad Batch. So we've talked about the first 3 episodes. We're going to talk about episodes 4 and 5. Starting with episode 4, which is titled Cornered. Now, I don't know about you, but the most exciting part about these 2 episodes for me was picking out the voice actors. And then ones that are like, I recognize that voice, but I don't know who that is. And then doing the research, like, oh, okay, that's that person. That you're going to hear a lot of that over these 2 episodes from me when we're talking about the Bad Batch, because that was the most exciting part for me about all of this.
The most exciting part for me was sitting there really wishing that if they're trying to hide, then Rambo needs to fucking get rid of the damn headscarf and fucking cut his hair.
Oh, and maybe the half face paint too is a dead giveaway.
Well, it could be tattooed. You could have Mike Tyson did, but
That is true.
cut your fucking hair. Like and then
Which, by the way, every time I see a meme now with the Rambo guy, I post it or I send it to you. I know other people are doing the same thing in the cantina, tagging you in fucking
I am not
Rambo
the only
memes.
one who fucking recognized the fact that, like, all right, are we done with this bit? Can we fucking move on from this?
No, he's probably not going to change for the whole course of the series.
Sidebar on Call of Duty, you can get for zombies. You can actually download. They have 80s fucking action heroes, and you can be John Rambo.
Nice.
As one of them, like circa the Bad Batch, John Rambo.
Sure, yeah.
And the other one is Bruce Willis from fucking Die Hard.
Nice.
Like you can actually
John McClane
be those skins. So yeah.
Awesome. That's cool. It might actually be a reason to play it. Anyway,
Zombies is awesome.
episode 4 started with Cornered, or is titled Cornered. Started with them again flying through space, and lo and behold, we're running out of fucking fuel. All of a sudden, for 30 years, fuel is not an issue in the Star Wars universe, but now we can't fucking have a new piece of Star Wars canon without a fucking fuel issue
Running out
coming
of
up.
gas.
Yeah.
Now, and rations, totally, I get it.
Sure.
But fuel, yeah, that I had the same. That hit the same way with me. I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
God damn it.
And again, it's not like we don't understand or we don't appreciate the fact that, okay, maybe there are fuel sources in Star Wars, but it's every fucking piece of canon since Disney took over has had issues with fuel.
Yep.
It's like, okay, guys, we get it. You know, you can
running out of fuel exploding. That's, you know, isn't that how Kanan got killed? It was some fucking fuel farm.
Yeah, and then of course Solo, they had to get the fuel, and then they had to throw the fuel into the fucking thing to get it out of the fucking the Kessel. Yeah, so we get it. We move on to another fucking storytelling method, please.
Pretty please, with sugar on it.
Yeah. So
flying a giant ship with solar panels on the side of it, you would think they'd use that to fucking recharge themselves, like a normal satellite. Anyway,
you would think. So yeah, they were supposed to go to Ida Floor, which was apparently an abandoned planet, but because they were running out of gas, they ended up going to Pantora instead. And as soon as they land, they get Fat Nia Nub, or whatever the hell the guy's name is, rolling up. He's like the ground handler, right? He's the FBO. And
in Africa, apparently, because you have to bribe your way through everything.
Right, exactly. We wouldn't know anything about that.
No, nothing.
So I knew I recognized the guy's voice, but I couldn't spot it.
Okay.
So I Googled it. That guy is voiced by Taron Killam, former SNL cast member. I'm trying to think of what he did that is like a recognizable thing, but yeah, Taron Taran Killam. Killam.
Hey, Jamie, can we bring that up?
Yeah, Jamie, bring that up. But yeah, he was a former cast member of SNL. He's been in some movies. I know he was in the movie The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. He was the main bad guy in that movie.
Huh.
But yeah, he's done some other stuff too.
I do not recognize this guy at all.
Okay, then.
Not even a little bit.
Fair enough. So anyway, he's the fat Nia Nub guy, the scummy guy who takes bribes. And of course he calls in, he still fucking rolls over on him, even after they fucking give him credits.
Oh, hell yeah.
He immediately is like, hey, they're here.
Yeah, duh, because fucking anybody that can be bought, they can be bought more than once.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't recognize it. You know, sidebar, this dude, right? Taron Killam, white guy. Right, I'm scrolling through, and there's like black guy pictures like showing up as part of the search. Jay Farrow, I guess maybe he was on SNL with them, but I'm like,
yeah, they were on at the same time.
Anyway,
so they get to the Pantora, and they're milling around, and like all the locals are celebrating, right? As the clones are marching through, they're like, fucking yeah. Right. Which is, it's an odd visual because I think Omega is like, well, why are they celebrating? They're like, well, they're celebrating the end of the war.
Right.
But
however,
yeah. And then right after that is when the hologram Empire guy comes on. He's like, be sure to register in the the fucking
get your chain code.
Yeah. And trade in your credits.
Like, and again, we're Empire guys, right?
Yeah.
But like, Carrie, take your worthless credits and we will for free exchange them for Imperial credits because that's how good we are.
Credits will do fine.
Apparently. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. And then of course, you know, the chain code, that's the whole your papers, please.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, we're making more allegories to Nazism and everything else when it comes to the Empire. But yeah. And we find out that Fat Nia Nub called in a bounty hunter.
Yep.
And we get our first shot of the, I don't want to say returning because this is before we knew her in The Mandalorian.
Right.
But Fennec, again voiced by the real Mulan, Ming-Na Wen,
right,
is back to voice Fennec. And she is a bounty hunter that gets called in to come look for Omega.
Yeah, so I waited till the absolute last minute to watch these. And you had said something about the cameos. So when I saw this, I'm like, okay, this is the cameo. All right, cool. That's where my enthusiasm level stopped for this particular episode.
Well, I mean, in that character
showing up,
Fennec Shand, she's becoming pretty popular amongst a crowd of Star Wars fans.
Oh, no doubt. And like having her, I don't know, like it's gonna sound weird, but having her drawn like and looking like her, like you can tell it's her.
Yeah.
And also the voice, that's really cool. I like that. I don't like what they're doing. It's there's something missing. There's something missing from this particular sequence, right? And it's not like, oh, who hired the bounty hunter? Like,
well, because
that's not the cliffhanger.
Well, no, because that to me seems pretty obvious anyway.
Yeah,
it's got to be the Kaminoans, right?
That's what I think.
They want their fucking Omega back.
I would agree.
Yeah,
they're the ones who commissioned.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that doesn't even seem like any kind of a mystery, unless we find out it's like fucking Palpatine or somebody. But I can't see that being a thing.
No, I'm with you. Like, spoiler alert. To basically the end of the next episode, but yeah, I think the cloners are like they first of all, it's not a bounty. They want her alive, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
It's not like fucking kill her and bring her back dead or alive. It's
because she's hiding something that's important to us. No. They want her back alive for a reason, right? She's probably their meal ticket to something else.
Sure.
And they created an entire clone army based on a fucking one bounty hunter. So they obviously know how to use bounty hunters to their advantage.
Indeed.
So, and the fact that she's like a new kid on the block, I'm like, okay, she could have been an established bounty hunter. Like, it didn't have to be like, hey, this is like her first jobs,
right.
Whatever. It was lacking something for me.
Okay, I can see that, but
maybe it's because they used the fucking sound effects in the chase scene, like the same sound effects they used in episode 2.
Oh, I was thinking about that.
Like just fucking.
All right, we're not there yet. So obviously, Omega immediately gets into fucking trouble because that's the trope that we use in all of these Bad Batch episodes. Is Omega fucking gets curious, wanders off, gets her ass into trouble. Happens again in this one. Though it was a pretty funny bit where Echo and Hunter went into town with Omega, and they're trying to like get credits, and they're trying to get some parts of their fucking ship. And this trader mistakes Echo for a fucking droid,
right?
Because he's got a helmet on, and he's like, "Oh, I'll buy your fucking droid." And
I'm not buying these explosives, but I'll buy your droid.
Right. So obviously Hunter tries to convince him, all right, dude, you gotta play a droid for a little while. We need the credits.
Wow. And it's like, man, no.
Yeah.
All right. Well, not for that low number.
Right. Yeah. That was a pretty funny bit too, where they did the negotiating. And he's like, he goes back. He's like, okay, I will be a droid. And yeah. And that traitor, by the way, voiced by Bobby Moynihan, another SNL alum, who you would recognize as probably Drunk Uncle. Was one of his more popular characters on SNL. But yeah, he was on SNL forever. So he was the voice of that traitor who bought Echo as a droid.
You know, in 2014, this Taron Killian dude was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The one with what's her face?
I guess it's a newer one.
Yeah.
2014, right? So
yeah, but Megan Fox.
Oh,
that version, right?
I don't think I ever saw that one.
Yeah, me either.
Anyway, sorry.
Squirrel. Anyway, yeah, I lost my place. So this starts this whole thing where fucking Fennec finds Omega after she fucking gets lost and runs off, and she's about to take her back. Hunter sees Fennec, and it begins this whole big fight and chase sequence into what you were making that analogy to with the episode 2. Though I gotta say, there was a really funny part to this whole chase sequence when there was a guy driving a fucking cargo ship, and he's like rocking out to like some fucking space music, completely oblivious to what's going on behind him.
Yeah,
as they land on his fucking thing. I thought that was actually pretty funny. But yeah,
good. I'm glad you thought it was funny.
Otherwise, like you get a part where the Pantoran police roll up, and they've got their fucking their blue and red sirens and everything.
Yeah.
And,
which apparently is universal throughout the galaxy.
Evidently.
Like, cops are going to have their own laser light show.
But Fennec is like, fuck the police. And she puts a fucking slug right in the dude's chest.
Fucking hell, dude. Like, it's like, nah, I'm not fucking around with these assholes. I'm just going to fucking shoot right through his glare shield into his fucking chest.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Fucking, like, oh, fuck.
So that got dark pretty quick.
Yeah, I love
it. And yeah, it kind of ended. They got Omega back. There's all this chase sequences and Omega hanging from a fucking building and blah, blah, blah. If you want to see it, just go watch it.
Yeah. So since you never watched the Mission Impossible movies, this had a very Mission Impossible overtone to it.
Okay.
Like, oh, let's take over the security cams. Now they're all of a sudden there. Do you notice that since the security cameras in A New Hope were like these like weird shaped glass things?
Yeah, like the 6-pack, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, so now every cam in Star Wars is one of those.
Yeah. I have noticed that they've reused that.
Yeah, all the fucking time. And I notice it every fucking time. Go like, come on.
It's consistency,
I guess.
And Big Lovin' in the chat said that the chase scene was awesome. Yeah, it was. Like it wasn't bad at all. I just, for brevity's sake, I'm just kind of rushing through it. If you want to see it all, go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. And mute it because fucking sound effects are awful. Awful. It was awful in the fucking prequels. It's awful now.
Man,
I hated that.
Dave's in a mood today.
Those fucking sound effects weren't good then. I don't know, like, oh, since it was there, now we have to fucking on any planet anywhere. Now these same fucking speeder sounds. Like, come on, come on.
Anyway, Hunter gets away with Omega. They get back to the fucking ship. There's this whole side story too about the other droids that Echo was with. That female protocol droid and the 3 little fucking astromechs.
I thought that actually was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, basically him going like, yeah, no, I'm in charge. Everyone come with me. And her being all,
yeah, very protocol droid-like.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good that they keep that same kind of basic.
Yeah, let's go, Goldenrod.
Demeanor amongst the protocol
Demeter
droids.
made.
Yeah. So, and then the episode kind of ended with like, oh, who is this bounty hunter? Why is she after Omega? Which, I mean, I can't imagine it being any sort of a surprise at this point.
It could be though.
Yeah.
I mean, we're making assumptions, right? But
sure.
I liked at the end of Bad Batch how it says it's basically Dave Filoni's name by itself.
Right.
Right. At the end of these. I appreciate that. Yeah, and episodically, we introduced Fennec in this fucking universe.
Go ahead. I'm just getting some stuff ready for the next episode.
Oh. So we introduced Fennec. Okay, cool. There was like, I don't know. Like I said, there was something missing in this episode for me that just made it feel like it was very by the numbers. It was there was no real revelations or anything. The introduction of Fennec was the biggest part of this episode. And obviously.
And I will say, being on Pantora, it did feel like Star Wars, right? This whole episode felt very Star Wars-y with all the familiar characters and the fucking droids and the sound effects and the music and everything. It felt perfect for a Star Wars like show. It's just not a lot happened.
Yeah. Perfect for a Star Wars like show that has fucking John Rambo walking around trying to be incognito, looking like nobody else at all.
You need to let that go, man.
I can't. I cannot fucking do it. I will. It'll be a celebration when they finally fucking tone him down. Like, they can't go through this entire thing with him fucking being like this.
I think they're gonna.
I fucking can't. I can't stand it.
All right. Are we ready to move on to the next episode?
Yes.
So this is episode 5, Rampage. So
not aptly named.
I guess. So now they're blasting along through space again, and they're like, oh, we got to find out who this fucking bounty hunter is that's trying to capture Omega.
Why?
Because they do.
Why?
They're inquisitive, I guess.
So just that's it. Like, we have to find out. Like, well, why? Or what are you going to do with this information once you have it?
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. We're still going to avoid the bounty hunter, though, right? Isn't that the plan? Like, to not let Omega get caught up by the fucking bounty hunter? Oh, no. We're just going to go to all the places that we think the bounty hunter is going to be.
Right.
So that we can figure out where he's being hired from, which it could be from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It could be from anywhere in the fucking galaxy. Could there be somebody on the end of the phone? And that's what you do too, by the way. Like after the fucking, you limp away from the crash and you call them like they got away. Like,
right. Speaking of calling people on the phone, this episode started with Omega getting her own comlink, which I gotta say, I thought that those bits were pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like her getting the comlink and then playing with it, and even though they're telling her
she's a kid, and that's what kids would do. And
it's not a toy.
it's not a toy.
And then they're having like this like side huddle, and they're talking, and Omega's like, "I think we should go," through the comlink, which I thought that was a cute part.
The bit with Sid is where it was like, I found Sid.
Yeah.
And then points like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they decide, all right, we're going to go to Ord Mantell, right? Which we heard about that in Empire Strikes Back, and throughout Legends and current canon, we've gone back to Ord Mantell.
Yes.
A handful of times. So we got to go back there because Echo knows an informant named Sid who's going to give us the information that we need.
Right. How,
allegedly.
Like, I forget. Echo was a clone trooper, obviously, and I went through all of his stuff. Why would he have had this like information that the Jedi used this person as a fucking like? Echo wasn't like Rex.
No, he wasn't like close with Luke or with Anakin or anybody.
You wouldn't think that he'd be in the know with a lot of this stuff.
Right. Basically, it was probably just him overhearing some shit. He's like, "Oh, I fucking heard."
Well, I mean, he does have the fucking the arm penis that he can stick into fucking all the outlets. Maybe that's how he found out.
Maybe.
Is that what you think about? Arm penis?
That's not what I thought about, but now I may not be able to think about anything but that for the rest of this episode. So they get there, they talk to this lizard person in Ord Mantell, which I immediately, like right away as we're watching this, I'm like, that's Rhea Perlman. I know that voice anywhere.
Right.
And of course, I'm sitting there with my son Adam, who's 14, and he's like, "Who is that?" Like, God damn it!
Would you really expect him to know that, though?
No. But yeah, Rhea Perlman from Cheers, Danny DeVito's wife, very distinguishable voice, and that she was Sid.
Yep.
Very easy to tell. Pretty cool addition, though. So yeah, she claims to not know Sid. Now this is where we get Omega very easily knowing that she is Sid. So this goes back to what we were talking about the last time. Is Omega force sensitive? And after seeing that, I'm starting to kind of come around to that theory that, maybe she has some sort of force sensitivity built into her. Maybe that was part of her, her genetic defect or whatever.
Yeah. Or why she was created.
Right. Like, were they trying to create people with force sensitivity?
Right. And it's Legends material, but we know that there was a series of clones that were developed that Palpatine was trying to use as force wielders.
Yeah,
that just never worked out. In fact, no, that is canon. It was in the comics, wasn't it? Because then they get hired to try and kill Vader.
Are you talking about the Inquisitors?
No.
Oh, no. You're talking about those the people that wanted to be force sensitive. Like the guy that was like the fucking like the partial cyborg, like he cut off a bunch of his biological parts, and he was trying to like, no. I think they wanted to be force sensitive, but they weren't.
Right.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because
Vader kicked the shit out of all of them. But anyway,
no, most Vaderist.
I'm starting to buy into the theory that Omega might be force sensitive because she very quickly picked up on the fact that Sid was the lizard lady that they were talking to when they first came in. And they have some back and forth, and basically they're trying to get information from her, and she's like, well, fuck, I'll find out who your bounty hunter is if you do something for me. So this is where they start becoming mercenaries.
Right.
This is the first time it was mentioned, like, hey, if you want to be a mercenary and do something for me, a little quid pro quo action going.
Right.
So she gives them a bounty of a kid named Moochie,
right?
That's on the other side of the planet that was taken by slavers, right? Just go get fucking Moochie back, and I'll get you the information you want.
Yep.
Which obviously there's a whole bunch going on under the surface. Outside of that, there's a moment where they're on their way over to the other side of the planet, and Wrecker, and I think this has happened one other time in this series, where he's like, "Ah, my fucking head."
Yes.
And it's like, "You all right?" He's like, yeah, it's fine."
Yeah.
And then you don't hear about it again.
No, so when he got bounced around in the one crash sequence, right? Ever since then, like his head's been an issue. Me reading those tea leaves, I feel like has something to do with the chip.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. The inhibitor chip or whatever the fuck it is.
Like something's squawking in there, and he's fighting it, obviously. And I guess he's, Cro-Magnon simpleton, right? So like he can overpower that. But yeah, I think it was a joke, Tom. It was a joke. Yeah, I 100% think that there's something's going to happen with that.
Yeah, that seems like some very blatant foreshadowing.
Yeah,
like at some point, maybe sniper guy who's no longer with us, Crosshair.
Yes.
Yeah, like he's going to fucking activate that chip, and it's going to be Wrecker and Crosshair versus the rest of the team. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So, at one point, also Wrecker mentions Kuat. Like, this will be just like our last mission on Kuat,
right?
Which I know from the Old Republic, the video game, which is not canon.
Right.
There's the Kuat drive yards, and I don't know if that's been brought into current canon up to this point, but now it is since he mentioned it in the show. So just a little.
I feel like there was something else that mentioned it in Fallen Order, maybe
potentially
in the game.
Jamie, look that up. Yeah. So, while they're there, they're scoping out the area. They see the fucking what are they? The Kygarians. They see them. They're scoping out the area. Then we flash back to fucking Rhea Perlman, and you see her having a hologram conversation with somebody,
right,
about the fucking mission and everything. And she's like, "Don't worry, I got my best people on it." And
this guy speaking Huttese.
Yes, and it's a Twi'lek male speaking in Huttese, and you're like,
yeah.
Who could that be?
Yes, I wonder.
Right.
Who could this be?
Which again, doesn't take a genius to figure out, even though it's pretty much revealed later on. So they get captured by the fucking Kygarians, and the main guy, the main Kygarian, his name is, hold on, let me find it. Bolo, yes. So he is voiced by a man named Liam O'Brien. Like, what an Irish name, by the way. Liam O'Brien.
If I got any more Irish, they'd have a fucking shamrock on it.
Yeah, like he should have just like a shamrock tattooed on his fucking forehead.
He's born in Belleville, New Jersey.
Right. So in 1976, by the way, May of 76. But
76.
So when I heard him doing the voice of Bolo, I'm like, I know that voice. Okay. And I know exactly who this fucking guy is. He, for anybody who has ever played the video game World of Warcraft, he voiced the greatest character in that fucking game, Illidan Stormrage.
Okay.
Who's like such an iconic character in World of Warcraft and the whole Warcraft universe. And this is the guy that did the voice for that. And it's damn near the same voice inflection that he uses for this character Bolo. Like, as soon as I heard it, I'm like, I know that guy. And I looked him up on IMDb. He's done a shitload of video games, but the place where I know him is as Illidan in fucking World of Warcraft. So I just thought that was worth mentioning.
So I just had this moment while you were talking about that, that I think that a lot of people have when we're talking about Star Wars stuff, where there's like words, and I'm just like, none of that's sticking, dude.
Right.
None of it. It's like it's just bouncing off of me completely, and I'm like,
You've seen Finding Nemo, right?
Yes.
You know, towards the beginning where he's taking fucking Nemo to school for the first time and he meets the other parents. I'm like, oh, you're a clownfish. Tell us a joke.
Right.
You know? And he starts going off on this long story, and like they're just kind of like staring at it. Their heads kind of cocking, their eyes are starting to go cross a little bit. Like I could see that look on your face.
Yes.
As,
like there's no bells at all. And usually I can get a little piece of something. Nothing.
Yeah.
So now I know how Kathy feels.
All right, fair enough. So the crew gets captured. Everybody but Omega. So
because she was ordered to stay with the ship.
Right, which she actually followed for a change. She actually followed orders.
Kicking the dirt on our way.
Which, by the way, they have a gonk droid.
Yes.
On the fucking ship. And she calls him Gonky.
which
Right.
I actually like.
Yeah.
The gonk, the odyssey that is the gonk droid, and how it just stays a thing.
Yeah.
Is fucking amazing. And for something that looked to me like a Burger King trash can from fucking the 80s, it still has life in these fucking shows.
Yeah, no, it's survived and it's now this iconic droid.
Yeah.
In the fucking Star Wars universe.
Gonk.
And he was making the same fucking gonk noises, right?
Gonk.
And she's like, Gonky, hide. And he just fucking sucks his legs in. He's like,
Turns into a trash can.
as the ship was getting boarded.
Yep.
So yeah, she goes out. She kind of helps them escape. So all the while, we think Moochie is like a child, like
Some
some
of the falling children.
Right, yes. And they're going up and they're like, oh, Moochie, we're gonna get you out of here. And they're like, who the fuck is Moochie?
Right.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Moochie's that over there in the fucking cage. And come to find out, it's a fucking baby Rancor
Right.
in the cage that fucking Omega lets out and then just causes all kinds of fucking chaos. And that gives our crew the opportunity to escape and get the fuck out of there.
Like, I know I wasn't the only person that was like, we can't just have a baby Rancor. There has to be this fucking connection.
The Rancor,
yeah,
right?
it has to be this fucking connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what Disney has done with the Star Wars license, for better or worse. They feel like they have to tie up. It's the same thing they did with Solo, right?
Yes.
Going into Solo, I'm like, just don't make it be the first time Han and Lando meet and the first time Han and Chewie meet and the fucking Kessel Run all in the same movie. Well, they did that all in the same movie.
They were like, you know what, Jason, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
We're gonna put it all in the same movie. For me, like, so Kathy watched that Cruella de Vil movie.
Oh yeah, that just hit Disney Plus, right?
Yeah,
with Emma Stone.
Yeah, so she said it was fine.
Yeah,
but it's like we're giving Cruella de Vil a backstory to make her a little bit more likable. Like, oh well, the dogs liked her, and like that wasn't a real thing with the thing. Like, no, it's not. She's an evil fucking bitch, evil ugly bitch that fucking wanted to wear dogs as pelts. We could have left it at that. We didn't need some fucking sob story to go back to. I don't care how fun the story is or how well it's told. Pick another fucking character.
Right.
Come up with something new. There's plenty of shit that we want to see fucking revived, right? We're in this revival of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, all the toys. Don't stop doing that.
Right.
We want to see more toys.
Especially Black Series figures.
But the other shit, stop it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, it's
not everything fucking, including the Rancor. You know what? We had our sob moment with the Rancor. We had it immediately after Rancor's death with fucking Tits McGee.
Yeah, with the trainer, like
coming out and sobbing. Like that was it. Oh, that was touching. It was a touching moment. I swear to God, if we meet this trainer, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
If we see Tits McGee, he's gonna have clothes on.
Right.
Because it's Disney, right? They're like, yeah, no.
He'll probably be thinner too, because he'll be younger.
Right.
Like 30 years younger or 20 years younger. So yeah, and you're kind of jumping ahead a little bit here.
We're gonna see this fucking trainer. I know it. God damn it.
So yeah, they realize that Moochie is the fucking bounty that they're after. And now while he's like going off, like kicking the shit out of all the Kagarians, they're like, fuck, we gotta,
except for fucking dude with Wonder Woman's whip. Wonder Woman!
Yeah.
Like the golden lasso.
Yeah,
like, come on. Really? This is what we have. Do we have to have electric golden lasso? Wonder Woman.
Right. So anyway, they
am I the only one?
They realize that, or I think it was Tech is like, well, the Rancors, they live in a social hierarchy, and you have to be the alpha. So it becomes this fucking like physical battle between Wrecker and fucking Moochie for dominance, right? And it's pretty funny. It's like
two kids tiring each other out.
Pretty much, like, because it goes flash forward like 3 hours later, and they're still like fucking fighting each other.
No, they're still going.
Yeah.
Like, nothing else in the world has happened. Just this for the past 3 hours. No dudes waking up going like, "Hey, shouldn't we stop these guys?" No. Just these two beating up on each other.
Yep. So then we flash back to Rhea Perlman, Sid, and Bib Fortuna comes in and she's like, "Oh, Bib." So we get confirmation that he's Bib Fortuna at this point. This is what I wanted to bring up. So the guy who voiced Bib Fortuna in this is Matthew Wood. Matthew Wood is a pretty fucking important character in Star Wars in general. So his first appearance in any kind of Star Wars, he's been like a sound guy for Lucasfilm for fucking ever.
Okay.
At least starting with the prequels. In fact, he played Bib Fortuna in The Phantom Menace. So that one scene where after the fucking pod race, when Jabba's like they're fucking asleep,
Right.
and fucking Bib Fortuna comes up and is like, "Hey, boss, wake up." And he's like, "Oh, shit." That was this guy, Matthew Wood.
Huh.
He has been Bib Fortuna's voice in anything that they've done, to include the very last scene in the last episode of Mandalorian, where it's Bib Fortuna, like fat Bib Fortuna in Jabba's fucking palace. That was him, Matthew Wood, in fucking costume as Bib Fortuna again.
Huh.
They also got him to do the voice. He is also, this guy has done fucking a lot. He was also the voice of Grievous in episode 3.
I'm just looking at that on our in studio screen.
Yeah. He is the voice of the battle droids in all of the Clone Wars. So those fucking battle droids all throughout the Clone Wars is fucking this guy, Matthew Wood.
Huh.
If you look at his fucking IMDb page, he did Robot Chicken as fucking Grievous and a bunch of other characters. He has done so much shit between fucking video games,
Lego Star
animated
Wars.
series, like the Lego Star Wars stuff. He has been involved in so much shit. In addition to, again, being one of the sound guys for fucking Lucasfilm, he's been the voice for so much, like Battlefront 2, because that focused a lot on the prequel era. He did the voice for fucking the battle droids in that, and for Grievous. He also did the Kylo Ren voice. If you remember, the single player campaign, the last fucking mission was as Kylo Ren fucking going into what's his name's mind, Del Mico's mind,
right,
trying to get some fucking information from him. That Kylo Ren voice that was done very well was done by Matthew Wood. So this dude is the fucking shit.
The dude was in the Smurfs,
the new Smurfs, the one with
the
fucking
Lost Village.
Yeah. But nah, man, dude,
and he was in Rise of Skywalker. God damn, dude.
Yeah, he has done a shitload of stuff for Star Wars.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Matthew Wood, an unsung fucking hero in the Star Wars universe. Again, reprising his role as Bib Fortuna again that he started in 1999 in Phantom Menace.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
he's doing shit with the Winter Soldier bit. And
he's doing a lot of Marvel stuff. He has parts in both WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, look him up. He has got a massive IMDb page. Look up like the sound work that he's done in addition to his acting credits, because it's a lot. So anyway, we see as they're bringing fucking Bibbo or whatever the fuck his name is. Bibble for shizzle and all about Bibble. Moochie. They're bringing Moochie back.
Where the fuck did you get Bibble from?
I don't know. I've had a lot to
Bib Fortuna?
Maybe. Fucking Omega is riding him like a mount, which in the Old Republic game, you can get Rancor fucking mounts.
Yes.
Like, I remember spending a long time farming the credits to buy myself my own Rancor mount in that game, which I still have, which is great. I love it. So, yeah, it was just kind of cool that they had that little throwback, like using Rancor as his fucking transportation.
Yeah, and there's Rancor interactions in in Legends materials too. Like they go to planets where there's Rancors around.
Oh, nice. They're riding them like tauntauns.
Yeah,
nice.
Well, it's all that being said, Bib fucking coming up and finding their long lost pet.
Right.
Wait a minute. Is the trainer with Bib Fortuna?
He is not. It's just Bib Fortuna and 2 Gamorrean guards.
That's right. They were Gamorrean guards.
Yeah.
Other fat people. Okay.
Yeah. But, fucking Rhea Perlman's like, tell Jabba, you got his fucking pet back and all this other stuff. So, I mean, we're obviously to assume at this point that this is the Rancor. Moochie is the Rancor that Luke eventually drops the fucking blast door on.
Mm-hmm.
So, now we have this more sympathetic backstory to Moochie, which
we don't need.
Exactly. But another funny thing is that I thought about, Moochie is pretty much the same age as Luke Skywalker because you think about when this takes place. This takes place right on the heels of episode 3. So, which is right when fucking Luke was born. So, I mean, really, Luke and the Rancor were the same age when they did battle in fucking Jabba's palace.
These are connections I did not need to make.
Right.
I did not need this in my life.
Mm.
And I'm no better off now than I was.
Yeah.
Look, if Disney's got a hair in their ass, Paul Brook is the British actor that played the fucking Tits McGee.
Uh-huh.
If they're going to bring him into the show, this dude's still alive.
He is?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Born in 44.
God damn.
44.
44.
Yeah.
You're saying they need to bring him back and voice
I need to see Paul Brook on that fucking credit list. Because if you're going to go so far as to fucking, I mean, I got voice work and all that other shit, but you're maintaining that level of consistency. Let's see you do this, motherfuckers. Let's see it.
Mm-hmm.
Blow my hair back with how fucking amazing it's going to be having Tits McGee cry on thing, because we never heard his voice anyway.
Right. Well, I mean, to be honest, they don't need to go back to this story. Like, now that they've got fucking Moochie back, there's no reason for them to come back to Jabba or any of this.
There was no reason to fucking bring Moochie into it in the fucking first place.
That is true, but there's really no reason to go back to it.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to stop them.
No. All right, fair enough.
Because, all right, that being said, what do we gain? Like, we get some information about Fennec, right?
Right, and that's basically what all this leads to.
Right. So we had 25 minutes of nonsense to get to the point where, like, yeah, that's Fennec. It's a bounty hunter. Okay, cool. Kind of knew that already.
Yeah, and she's on an independent contract. It's not
with the guild.
Right.
So,
and that's it.
Yep.
That's all we got.
Just went through all that bullshit. Fucking got Wrecker killed damn near again. Fucking loosening that chip up in his brain a little bit more so that you could find out a sentence more than you already know.
Right. Well, and that was why when we went into this episode, I'm like, maybe we should tack something else onto it, because there's unfortunately not a lot of substance to this. Outside of Fennec being introduced as a character in this whole, series, nothing's really happened up to this point.
Why were they able to get off of the ship? This is like partly in jest, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
Why were they able to get off the ship in their armor and or Mandel, and they weren't able to do it in fucking Primavera or wherever the fuck they were? Pasta Primavera.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't explain that.
Pantora.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a great question.
Like they came right out.
Yeah, because they were wearing like civilian clothes when they were walking through Pantora, and they're mingling with the fucking local traders. Yeah, but then when they roll into fucking Ord Mantell, they're like full armor and whatnot,
helmets, the whole shooting match. So and there's a little, I don't know.
Well, like repaint your fucking armor at least,
or not wear armor. Like you're trying to fucking hide. Let's park in the middle of the spaceport. Because reasons, right? Like, and by the way, not secure the fucking ship. These fucking
that's a trope that we've seen since Disney took over. Watch The Mandalorian. Every episode of The Mandalorian, he fucking lands, leaves the ship with the fucking door open and everything. He just walks away. He's like, "What are you doing? Close the door."
I guess because in Legends material, like every fucking spaceship had like these advanced locking systems on it,
right?
Like Jedi activated.
Well, you still have to close the fucking door to lock it.
I mean, it's a fair point.
Well, apparently the Gonk droids, he's got it.
He's
like,
the brains.
Gonk, you got this.
Gonk,
come
on, Gonky. Let's do this, Gonky.
Yeah,
protected by Gonky.
Yeah, right. Well, his protection goes as far as fucking boom, turning himself into a trash can. It's like fucking good luck.
Yeah. Oh fuck! Hope this turns out. Hope my new masters are fucking. Don't kill me.
Yeah.
Oh wow! No, God. Ugh.
What?
Ick.
What?
There's a fucking ad for Friends.
Oh, that Friends reunion.
It's not even a reunion. It's like, although Jennifer Aniston's fucking adorable.
She's aged better than
the rest of
most of the rest. Well, her and Matt
Joey.
LeBlanc. Yeah. Like he looks fine too, but
give two shits about Friends. Honestly, I do not care. I don't care.
I could see that.
What kind of ratings did that fucking get?
Well, back in the day?
No, the reunion thing they just did.
Oh, I have no idea. I'm pretty sure they threw a shitload of money at him for this, though.
I'm sure they did. Did they make any of that back?
Well, that's the weird thing about streaming services. You'll never really know. There's no Nielsen ratings
Is there
that'll tell you like how many people watched it.
But that's counterintuitive, right? The whole Nielsen rating system is based on like a survey of a certain level of population. You would think with a streaming service, you'd actually be able to count the number of downloads. Like how many times was this downloaded? What was this watched?
Well, Peacock or NBC, they have those numbers, but they're not going to publicly release those unless it's something like astronomical. That's the thing about streaming services. They don't have to tell the public shit. You know, like think about Disney Plus. If nobody's watching The Bad Batch, they don't have to fucking say that nobody's watching. They're like, oh, this is our great new fucking innovative animated show. Well, how many downloads does it have? It's our great new innovative TV show that's a follow-on to the Clone Wars. They don't have to say shit.
I mean, that's fair, but I'm really curious. Like, did you watch the Friends thing?
I did not. Well, we don't have, what is it, HBO Max?
I have no fucking clue. The only reason I know it's a thing is because I saw a couple like social media posts that there was something going on with Friends.
Well, apparently Matthew Perry looks like he's not doing well in this thing. So
I saw like a picture with had all their faces. Again, Jennifer Aniston looks basically the same,
right?
You know.
Well, and she's been the one, and she's been the one who's been actively working pretty consistently since then.
Yeah.
So
and Matt LeBlanc to a point. The rest of them, not really.
Yeah.
Courtney Cox.
She looks like the fucking Joker now. Because this is why, ladies, don't do fucking Botox.
Yeah.
It does not look good. You look like fucking every other Hollywood fucking plastic piece of shit out there.
Unless you're doing it to relieve migraines. Yeah, don't
yeah.
Do I was gonna get that shit in my hands to try and help my hands to make them work better.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. I didn't want to. It was like a less than 5% chance that it was actually going to help. I'm like, no, I'm not.
And side effects include your hands are like duck lips from now on.
Yeah. I have the Lego hands as it is. So that would have been an improvement, I guess. I can grab slightly bigger things. I don't know.
They'd mistake your hands for one of the Kardashians. Then it'd be like that episode of South Park where Cartman's hand was Jennifer Lopez.
See.
That episode was so wrong. Oh, Ben Affleck spooge.
Chocolate kisses. I did a whole karaoke session at we were at some, I think it was a Halloween party.
Yeah.
With Kathy's work friends, and it was karaoke, and they were forcing me to sing. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna sing like
as Jennifer Lopez.
As Jennifer Lopez.
Say Ja. Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez.
It's talk of leaf kisses.
Yeah. So well, I guess that's the end of this episode, huh?
Yeah. Of the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
As voiced by Chocolate Kisses.
So real quick before we close this out, want to give a huge shout out to our good friends Scott and Kim over at the Used and Abused podcast.
Yes.
Because they are going live later this evening with their 100th episode.
Yes. Find Used and Abused. They'll be live over YouTube. So throw that into the YouTube old search bar. How you doing? Yeah. If you're not already subscribed, and get in there and watch their show. It's going to be fucking great.
It's just crazy that they're up to 100 episodes.
And they fucking our Jamies have pulled through. Used and Abused Pod says Friends Reunion was watched by 29% of the streaming audience in the US. 3% behind Wonder Woman 1984.
Which is pretty good, I'd say.
Bunch of fucking lemmings. Bunch of lemmings wanting to jump off that fucking Friends cliff for no goddamn reason. That show was awful.
It was great in the 90s.
I love you trying to like.
I watched it back in the 90s. It was such a 90s show, you know. It was.
Fuck that show.
Whatever.
It
was a different time, man.
Yeah, I was alive at that time too. Guess what? I didn't like it then. I really don't like it now.
Right.
Anyway, fuck Friends.
All right. So
just because it was watched by 29% of the streaming audience,
that's a lot of people. I mean, streaming audiences are pretty fucking big at this point. we are going to a non-Star Wars topic. So we're getting away from the Star Wars stuff for a while.
It's got to be May.
Yeah.
No, this is the May.
This is the May.
My ears are ringing right now.
That tinnitus going on.
Fuck.
So speaking of your ears ringing, we're going to go into a music episode next week, and we're going to talk about music from the 80s. So this is something that I really want to get some listener participation with, because Dave and I are going to talk about a lot of favorite music from the 80s, the 80s music experience, and we're going to close it up with probably a top 5 list, top 5 80s songs.
We like doing top 5.
Yeah, we haven't done a top 5 list in quite a while, honestly.
A minute.
So we're going to do that, but I also want to hear like what your top 80s songs are. So our social media director, Luna Girl, is going to be posting a lot of shit on our Instagram. So please go on to there every day and participate in whatever polls or anything else she puts up. And like, tell us some of your favorite 80s songs, because we want to get not only Dave and Jason's top 5 lists, but we want to get the general listener / sidebar Cantina's top 80 songs as well.
I can tell you right now, as this guy on this side of the table, I know that Jason and a lot of you know a lot more about fucking music than I do. So you all right over there?
Just had something in my teeth.
For those of you not watching on YouTube, Jason just picked up a piece of paper, and what appeared to me, like it looked like he was biting it, which I was trying to figure out why what I said prompted Jason to bite a piece of paper.
I was using it as dental floss.
Anyway, all of you and that guy across from me know a lot more about music than I do. So my list is probably going to be very, very generic. So I'm looking forward to all of your lists, because hey, maybe I'll find something that I forgot that I enjoyed or didn't know I was going to enjoy.
Well, the only thing I know for sure is I know what my number 1 is. All right.
Okay.
Like that's already set in stone. My 2 through 5, that could be any number of things from any number of artists in a wide range of fucking categories.
Okay.
Why the look? What was that about?
Because I'm developing. I'm formulating.
Okay.
Formulating something. A bet of sorts.
Okay. Like as to
Not
what my
between
number
us.
1? Okay.
Not between us,
Okay.
but maybe for the listeners.
All right. Like
That's
trying to guess what my number 1 is?
No, just trying to guess guess which particular song is going to be in there.
Okay. I don't think anybody's going to be able to guess what my number 1 is, honestly. I don't think I've ever alluded to it in any of our podcasts or anything.
Did
So
Jamie pull that up? Scott and Kim would know. Scott and Kim would know. Hey, speaking of, before we I snapped. Fuck snaps.
yes.
And
fuck China.
fuck China and cancer.
Yeah.
No, we mentioned Use and Abuse podcast is coming on after us today.
Mhm.
Since this is a weird Tuesday and we're infringing on their territory here. Apologies.
Right.
But they're doing a 100th episode. The Escape Pod guys have a fucking interview with like a real Star Wars person.
Yeah, a guy who played a bounty hunter in The Mandalorian,
Yes, yeah. I forget the name of the bounty hunter. I should have put it in.
It's a goofy fucking name.
It's like Meryl Streep.
It's like Bibu Boo Boo or some shit like
I
that.
think it's Meryl
Streep.
Let's go with Meryl
We
Streep.
want to name ourselves Meryl Streep.
Wow, that's an interesting piece of meat right there.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's not
them.
That's not them. What?
Do I have to do ATSW?
I don't know. So we really need Jamie to look this up.
I know.
Yeah, there they are. Let's see. They are just
Come on, guys.
Get
Get your fucking Facebook pages together.
They're advertising the shit out of it. Anyway, this Wednesday, 7:00 Eastern, log in, subscribe to the Escape Pod guys. They're going to be doing an interview with
somebody who's actually been in a Star Wars.
Dominic
thing.
Pace is the
actor's
name, and he played Gecko.
Right. Or Bibu, as I called him.
Or Meryl Streep.
Right.
And Brady, we want you to tell them that we said the name of the bounty hunter was Meryl Streep. you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'll probably jump in the chat and do that anyway. But no, it's great stuff. Our family of podcasts, or I guess our children,
Our kids are all grown up.
yeah, our kids are growing up and doing good things. So subscribe to them and listen to their podcast, download them,
And you will do it.
do it.
Make the sacrifice.
While you're doing that, follow us, like as Jason alluded to, especially with the 80s stuff coming up. We want you to be engaged on our Instagram at the Sidebar Cantina.
Correct.
Go to tpublic.com, search for, what was the name of our other podcast?
From a Gen X
From a
point of
Gen
view.
X point of view. If you search for that, you can find some Sidebar Cantina merch and some other stuff. That's going to be changing.
Yeah,
here
you need to fix that.
really quick. I have a couple of designs drawn that I just need to get finished up
Nice.
for some new merch. And yeah, that's it. I don't know if Big Sweet's working on anything right now besides doing his
usual shit.
yeah, a little bit of everything. You know,
A
that's
little
why
bit of
that-
construction, a little bit of music playing.
So
All right.
anyway, yeah,
Next week, 80s. And we've got a great month of June
right.
planned out. Some really fun topics. We're delving into Chappelle Show again.
Yep.
The week after the 80s, we're going to delve into our military careers. There's some big anniversaries coming up for mine and Dave's military service.
Yep.
And then we're going to close with a bad movie. We'll
Yeah.
just say we'll save that for later on, but we've got some
Apparently
fun
a pretty
stuff.
horrific movie. Either way,
Right.
it's going to be bad.
Yeah. It's going to be bad. But until then, thank you everybody for watching on YouTube. Thank you to all of the audio listeners. We love you all. Follow us at the Sidebar Cantina on Instagram. Join the private Facebook group, the Sidebar Cantina. And until next time, Dave and everybody else, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. It's better.
Yeah.
Okay, now where do I click?
Good. I like it.
Idaho transfer. I don't understand what that means.
Oh, speaking of which, Kristen, she, her sister who lives in Jersey was like pissing her off. You know, she has another sister who lives in Idaho.
Right.
Like her sister who lives here in Jersey pissed her off recently. So she's like, fuck it, we're moving to Idaho. I'm like, okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Go back to your maintenance world and fucking work on A10s at the Idaho Air Guard.
I don't want to do anything, honestly. That's the big thing. Like when you were talking about your, wanting to go for your master's and all this other shit, I'm looking to do less. I'm not looking to do more at this point. I want to do less. I want less stress. I want less work, and I'll take less money for all of that as well. The problem is I still have fucking kids who aren't out of the house yet. So the reality is I'm probably still going to have to do something productive for the next 4 years. But after that, especially once the kids are gone, like I ain't doing more. I'm doing drastically less. Like we're fucking going all kinds of minimalist. I'll live off of my fucking measly military retirement and Kristen's fucking Costco paychecks. I don't care, man. I'm so looking forward to not having to continue my education and not having to fucking be a slave to the goddamn military. And yeah,
I feel you, man. Like I said, my reasons are way more personal to me than needing to do anything.
Sure.
I don't have to do any of it. I really don't.
Right. But you have a personal need.
I have a desire to do it.
Yeah.
And I have the means to do it. So
I'm turning on the AC.
you should turn on the AC.
Sorry for the noise, folks. This is the after show anyway, so.
Can you even hear it? Can you hear the AC? Can you hear me chewing this fucking amazing dessert?
Oh, I'm sure they can hear that. So,
What's the worst movie ever? Oh, Idaho Transfer?
is that the name of a movie?
Dude, Jamie, bring that up.
Yeah, is that the name
Seriously,
of a movie?
bring it up. I want to.
Okay. Wait, so I'm Jamie now.
Yes.
Idaho Transfer.
I'm eating.
Transfer. Yeah. Is a 1973 science fiction film directed by Peter Fonda.
Huh.
What the fuck? That's really a movie. Is a teenager, Karen Braden, is a troubled mental hospital outpatient who is taken by her father, George, and sister, Issa, to a government facility near the Craters of the Moon lava fields in Idaho. Is that a real place?
I don't know.
Tom, is the Craters of the Moon lava field a real thing? The project there was commissioned to develop matter transference, but made a different discovery: time travel. They also discovered that a mysterious ecological catastrophe will soon wipe out civilization. That's a lot going on.
Peter Fonda, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that's the Peter Fonda, right? Yeah, it sure is.
That bitch Jane Fonda in it?
Does not look like it. Fuck her.
Fuck that bitch.
You know the fucking fucked up thing about her? Her and I share a birthday. You know, growing up, you always hear about like who you share a celebrity birthday with. Mine was always Jane Fonda. Which, you know, growing up, the only thing I really knew her from was 9 to 5, the movie. You remember the movie? Working 9 to 5. Her and Dolly Parton and fucking, what's her name? Then later on, I found out about the whole Vietnam shit. I'm like, oh, what a fucking cunt.
Dude, there's the amount of hate that anybody who went through survival school,
Oh, yeah.
like, you can't, I don't give a shit if Jane Fonda fucking cures cancer. Don't fucking care. Like, she's still a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And she won't cure cancer, by the way. She's dumb as a sack of fucking hammers. Fuck Jane Fonda. Oh my God. That was so good. And I'm going to be in a coma.
Is what's his name still alive? Movie 925. Dabney Coleman? Was that his name? The guy that was in 9 to 5. He was also in Cloak and Dagger. Dabney Coleman.
Bronco.
Yeah, he's still alive.
The movie was filmed where Napoleon Dynamite was. For
That
Idaho transfer.
okay.
I really want to watch that now.
Yeah.
Just because there's got to be a reason, right? Bronco Fett, loyal listener. If there is anything that could be construed as negative towards his home state, it's the worst thing ever, right?
Sure.
So there's got to be something in that movie that tweaks his nipples. Said if
Right.
he hates this fucking
Probably
it's the worst
reflects
movie
on
ever.
like Idahoans as a bunch of fucking backwards rednecks or something like that.
So I think we have to see it just to flush that out.
Hello there. Yeah.
We're on the after
This
show.
is the after party. This is the part where I yell at you and Dave for not being able to open wine bottles and things like that. Which, by the way, was the funniest fucking shit last week.
The best part
That was a good
when
clip.
You had to pee and I wouldn't let you out, and you almost like body slammed me to the ground.
You were about to like. Never mind. I won't say
Get
that
wet.
on the air. Yeah,
Not in a good way.
yeah, but no, this is the after party. You're welcome to pull up a seat.
Get your shot glasses ready. We're taking a shot for the 100th tonight.
Are they live?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Bronco Fett says it's on YouTube. No one has copyrighted it, so even better. It's accessible.
We could watch the whole movie if we wanted to.
Yeah. Live on air. We could MST the shit out of it.
Well, the movie Idaho Transfer. Were you not listening just now?
I was actually. I didn't know what that was all about, though.
Yeah, but apparently it's a real movie about.
And Bronco Fett says it's the worst movie ever.
Yeah.
So
Has he heard of that bird one?
Birdemic.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get there.
we're on the fence between Birdemic and the movie that I think we could do both. You know,
I mean, yeah, there's
I've
nothing
never
stopping us
heard
from.
all right, those of you, the half dozen of you that are still in the chat, they're waiting for us to wrap up. Oh, give us a couple more minutes. Have you ever heard out there in the world that, and your name isn't Scott Rasmussen, who seems to know everything,
or have
Birdemic?
access to Google?
I never heard of it.
Me neither.
A Birdemic. You never heard of it?
No.
Never.
Wow.
Never.
Yeah, it came out in 2010, I want to say. Very low budget movie. And
As you could tell by the trailer.
you're right. But it's gone down as like one of the worst movies ever made in history. Very close to the Room. And it's
I don't think I've ever seen The Room.
well, neither have I. But it's again, you see the like the clips and shit that you're tearing me apart, Lisa.
There's movies out there about fucking furniture that eats people.
I would so
is-
watch that movie. What is that movie?
Oh, what the fuck? There's like this killer couch movie.
What?
That sounds terrible.
No, that sounds
terrible.
amazing. I
Where
would
do
watch
find
that.
such a thing?
Yeah.
That sounds awful. Where would that be?
Yeah.
Killer couch movie. Killer sofa. A 2019 joint.
I will watch that. 2019. That was very recent.
Wow.
So this was not Pee-wee's Playhouse. Because Pee-wee's Playhouse had the fucking
Right.
the couches with the mouths. It looked very creepy.
It was creepy, but not killer sofa creepy.
Yeah, to each
A
their own.
killer reclining chair becomes enchanted by a girl and starts committing crimes of passion. Now, if it had said enchanted by a little boy and then starts committing crimes of passion, some little boy's been fucking that couch.
I think I've seen that movie.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying. It's an hour and 21 minutes long. That is 81 minutes of killer sofa. So at least half hour of that is some sort of build up into how it becomes a killer sofa. And by the way, it says killer sofa and then it says a reclining chair. Not the same thing. Not the same thing.
Is it like mobile, or does it just wait for people to come and sit on it?
I don't
Haha,
know.
gotcha, bitch.
Hang on. We could put the trailer up on the thing.
Killer sofa. Oh my god, that's really a thing.
I can't make this shit up.
Jesus Christ. That might have to be our movie at the end of the month.
Rubber, great terrible movie.
So we've got a lot of candidates, basically, because here's the deal. All right, since those of you are still sticking with us, here's the secret that I'm gonna let out of the bag. Some of our best content between mine and Dave's podcast is the shit, like the bad stuff. Like when we did the Ewok adventure last week, and Dave and I are just railing on like all the terrible shit in that. When we did the holiday special, when we did our watch along, our MST, 2K version of watching the fucking holiday special, which is still on this YouTube channel, by the way.
Nice.
Fucking gold material as we're watching this fucking.
You have to get Dave mad at it. That's where.
Right. That's where the fun
magic
is.
happens.
When Dave gets angry,
Yeah.
the good material just starts to flow. So
I found another one.
another.
My Lover, My Lazy Boy. 2019.
What what was with 2019 and the
I don't
fucking.
I don't know. It's like they knew COVID was coming, so they were going to produce a whole bunch of fucking.
So
No. See, I think this is the same fucking movie.
Oh,
This is
Definitely
on Rotten
better
Tomatoes because listen, it's the same description. A killer reclining chair becomes enchanted by a young woman and begins committing deadly crimes of passion.
so here's the deal.
That's just like a common movie plot.
Jesus Christ.
So we're gonna start incorporating bad movies into the show, be it shows like Birdemic or the fucking Killer Sofa movie or
Force Awakens.
Get Out. Anyway, so we're gonna start incorporating things like that into our normal rotation of topics. So in addition to our music episodes, plowing through Chappelle's show, we're gonna throw in some bad movies.
Bad movies.
Yeah, which, by the way,
I swear to God, if I have to pay money to watch a bad movie,
that
will enrage me.
we'll figure out ways to acquire them.
We'll hook you up.
But something else I wanted to let the masses know, or the 7 people who are still in the chat August 1st of this year
Uh-huh.
is the 35th anniversary of Howard the Duck.
Oh yeah.
And you bet your sweet ass
Yes.
we are fucking talking about
You
Howard
have
the
to.
Duck
You fucking have to.
for that week.
Yeah.
Though?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Oh god, I have
listen.
so many stories about that movie.
Yes.
I did not grow up with that movie. I saw it as an adult and did not understand
I saw it as
just why.
I didn't understand it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I loved it as a kid, and I love it even more as an adult.
When's the last time you saw it?
I don't know, like 3 years ago. It was on some streaming service. It was probably on Netflix a few years ago.
Why is it so dark?
7:48,
Is it supposed to rain or something?
maybe. It was overcast most of the day today. But anyway, Howard the Duck, August 1st. We are talking about it. That is, you can pencil it in. Whatever episode falls closest to August 1st, we're doing Howard the Duck.
Okay.
Period. Like non-negotiable.
35th anniversary?
35th. Which makes me want to fucking hang myself right now because I remember when that first fucking came out.
That's okay. Kathy and I had a moment this weekend because, Kate's 21, turns 22 this year.
Wow.
Wow.
Jeff turns 25.
Oh my god.
20 fucking 5.
That's crazy.
Like, that was like, oh Jesus. That just like you feel gray hair just starting. Like as soon as you say that,
It's assuming you have hair, but I understand the analogy.
your hair would probably be gray if you grew it out.
Oh, it would be.
No, I keep having to cut mine shorter because it's more and more gray shows up. So I wear hats. Best cameo guy.
Yeah, it wasn't the same though. If they had gotten the little fucking animatronic puppet fucking Howard in that, then yes. But it was a CG thing and it was voiced by Seth Green. No, that's not the real Howard the Duck.
That's not
George
the
Lucas
quality
joint.
Howard the Duck.
Yeah, they fucking George Lucas fucking written and produced Howard the Duck.
All that money he made just to go, I'm going to make a movie about a duck.
How do you do that, by the way? How do you
I don't know.
make the original Star Wars trilogy and then go bankrupt within like the first 5 years after the last movie comes out?
You make a movie like Howard the Duck.
But it wasn't just that. It was a multitude of shitty decisions, I guess.
1986.
Yeah, 35 years ago. Math.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, you know what? I'm not going to tell that story. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
No, that fucking my dumbass. We're raining the other night. Go out, take the dog for a walk, and I'm like, you know what? There's no other fucking dogs out. I'm just gonna let her off the leash. She's real good off leash. So I'm like, I don't feel like fucking putting a leash on her. Let's just go. Right. So we go out. We're walking. She's all fucking excited. Right. I'm looking to the side at something like across the street, and I turn my head because I see her move real fast. She runs across the street and fucking tackles a duck.
Oh shit!
Like a female mallard. Like she tackles it and like had it pinned down on under her chest like this. Like didn't bite it or nothing, just like this. And there was 2 male mallards like right here, and she's eyeballing them like how can I get you fuckers too?
Right.
They fucking they're a bunch of bitch asses and fucking just run away.
Oh.
Like, fuck that broad, we're out. And then fucking go running away. So I had to go over and like get her off of this duck. And she, like I said, she didn't bite it. She fucking tackled it.
Yeah.
Like a goddamn linebacker. And then like stayed on top of it like this. And as soon as she gets up, right, I get her up and the duck is like freaking out, like, starts biting at her, right? Like, starts chasing after her. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah.
So yeah, she almost had a duck added to her tally of
Yeah.
Lorraine McFly. Yeah. So with Howard the Duck, this is probably why we liked it because
Leah Thompson. Oh yeah, she was at her most bonable in her whole
she was
career.
at her most Leah Thompsonist.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
August 1st. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
I don't think we should hold up Scott and Kim any longer.
Yeah, I know. They want to get to their 100th episode. Blah, blah.
So
we love you guys though.
We should go.
All right.
And tune in to the Escape Pod if you're still watching.
Yes, and then tomorrow, Escape Pod tomorrow.
Right.
Use and abuse tonight.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
because that's a thing.
Yes. Did you download the audio while we're?
I'm working on it. You calm your fucking
The
tits,
whole
man.
purpose of the after show is so he would download the stuff.
I did
so he
it.
wouldn't
Don't.
forget.
Tom Brady's still there.
Yes, Tom Brady is still there
Yeah.
with that dumbass haircut.
And there.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm waiting for the pop war to start. Like she
Yeah.
threw the first shot and you haven't responded.
oh, speaking of pops, I bought my niece. Like she like for some reason a switch flipped
Mm-hmm.
and she's into Harry Potter now.
Aww.
And so it was like right around the age, what is it, like 11 where you get the letter or whatever.
Yes, it's 11.
So that she turns 11 on the 3rd. So I got her.
Oh, he knows so much more about Harry Potter than he admits.
Yeah, you start absorbing it.
Yeah.
They had 3. They had Ron, Hermione, and Harry.
Mhm.
Like all 3 of them for $27 for the pops.
Aw.
So I got her all 3 of them. So she, like starting the pops thing. They're actually they're good looking pops. They are. They're well done.
Sure.
They just are.
I was in GameStop today and they had like their wall of pops. I'm all like, I don't know why, but I want like all of them. Like,
It's a fucking sickness.
yeah.
It is.
Do you see that the child? It's like this big. Like they have the
Oh, yeah,
jumbo.
I have to. I've. This is as big as they get. This is the collectible
That's
what
size
she
for
said?
me.
It just gets ridiculous.
And unfortunately. All right, we should really go now.
All right. Thanks, guys, for the 8 of you who have stuck around.
Yes.
We love you. You're the best.
Have a good show. Scott
Yeah.
and Kim
And Don and Brady.
and Don and Brady, of course.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
See ya.